These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? Two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata, ain't no passing craze.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everybody, to America's Barley Baskets. I am your host, Nathan Fulsabuck, and sitting beside me virtually is your host, Marlon Wells. Hello, Marlon.
Hello, Nathan.
How's life, Marlon?
Oh, it's not so bad. I'm just enjoying kind of a lazy Sunday.
You have a chipper tone to your voice. I think, I can sense the joy.
I'm feeling all right. I'm freshly caffeinated. I am freshly Simpsonsed up. Yeah, I'm just living today.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am surrounded by beverages. I have a short-sleeved, unbuttoned teal shirt on and brand new Black Friday underpants.
Look at you.
Reebok makes the underwear for fat guys. They have got it figured out, my friend.
Reebok, I feel like we've mentioned maybe before. Reebok really leaned into the fat wear, which good on them. They saw a market and they chose to fill it.
Once Shaq retired, they didn't have any stars anymore, so they like, hey, we're not making basketball shoes. Let's make clothes for the morbidly obese. And boy, they have really taken off.
Oh man, it's funny you mentioned Shaq. I'm not. I know that you are a supporter of like garbage purchases on eBay, or at least garbage inquiries on eBay, even if you don't buy it. Just looking.
Yep.
And I, not 2 days ago, was staring at the Reebok Shaqnosis shoes. Do you remember those?
Oh my god, yeah, barely. I was kind of getting
black and white swirl.
Yep,
Oh,
dude.
God, those were horrendous shoes that I think I need.
Please spend your tax return on that. Please do that. God, you deserve that. Please do that. I want to see you in those shoes.
As far as sneakers go, they're not bad. They're like $130, $160.
I'm trying to think of your dress wear. Do you flamboyant dresser at all, or you keep it pretty low key most of the time?
I used to be, but I feel like I've maybe mellowed with age.
Yeah.
But the one exception I will always make is footwear. I think footwear, especially if it's a sneaker, should be loud. So much flashy fashion. Oh, yes, exactly. So much flashy fashion doesn't come in my size.
That's very true.
So the places where I can be flashy are socks and shoes. Like, I'm a fun socks guy and have been for years. But I also think that shoes ought to be loud, especially if they're athletic at all in nature.
See, I'm kind of basic bitch. A lot of it, I don't like white shoes because they get dirty too easy. I black sneakers, but you know what? Goddamn it! Last year around this time, treated myself to a pair of Jordans.
Attaboy.
Because I realized Riff Raff is my age. If Riff Raff can dress like that, why can't I?
Yeah, if I were you, I would start taking more fashion cues from Jody High Roller.
Thank you. Oh yeah, Dale D'Antoni.
Dale D'Antoni, the
rookie of the future.
Rookie of the future. Yep. The neon icon.
Oh, bro.
I think that's exactly who you should be getting fashion tips from.
I did get a order of T-shirts in the mail from a site called tpublic.com. Fucking treat yourself.
I have ordered from TeePublic.
Amazing. And they come in fat guy sizes.
Yeah.
I have a T-shirt now that's just a giant picture of Weird Al's head. It's so
awesome.
great. It's so fucking great. Like the joy.
I believe the one I got from TeePublic is it's a photo of Macho Man Randy Savage, but they have replaced his head with country music legend Randy Travis.
Yep, I've seen that Macho Man Randy Travis.
And it says Macho Man Randy Travis, and that's maybe the best thing I've ever seen. So I ordered that months ago, like over the summer, and have been getting targeted Facebook advertisements from that site forever now, and I don't know what it is, but the majority of the targeted ads I get from them are for the weirdest, most esoteric Garfield designs that they're fucking nightmarish.
Oh, like, man.
There's one, it's just Garfield looking sad in a cowboy hat, and he says, and the line on the bottom is like, I'm not sure they allow cowboys in heaven, or something along those lines. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
What's going on, Garfield?
Yeah, or like, here's the Garfield Friends logo, but it says Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm like, what is... why am I being targeted with these esoteric Garfield shirts?
Oh, man, wait till it becomes erotic Garfield shirts.
I'm waiting for it. I'm sure it's coming.
Is there some kind of like online purchasing logger like, this guy wants to fuck Odie? We got this. Let's give him the Odie fucking sweatshirts.
Oh, man.
To go back to something you touched on, I just realized, because I was going to say I am a basic bitch when it comes to socks. Black ankle socks, because I can't mess those up in the wash like I can white socks.
I used to be you, man.
But
I used
you know
to be
what
a
I
black
do
ankle
own?
sock, man.
I got him as a gift. I got me a pair of Larry Bird socks. I mean, from toe to calf. It's just a picture of Larry Bird shooting a jumper.
Awesome.
And they are glorious. And I just realized it is Birdmas Eve. Tomorrow is Larry Bird's birthday. I guess it'll be the day, like, you'll be one day past Birdmas when you're listening to this. I hope you're busy right now getting last second Birdmas shopping done. Oh, man. Gather around the computer with your family and watch YouTube videos of the greatest who ever did it.
Now, with these Larry Bird socks, I assume, because I know you, do you have the same problem I do when it comes to socks that have a picture or coherent design on them, where as soon as you put them on, it morphs whatever it is into a monster?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because of your big calves.
Yeah, just going to say, because I got husky gent calves, so it's just... like, if I ever got skinny, would I have just amazing calves? Is that a goal I should aim for?
If you dropped 80 pounds overnight, would you still just have these monster calves? I imagine so.
Which, I remember, like... I don't know, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, I was in the gym and I was doing the hip sled. And like, I was just maxing out the hip sled casually. Like, I have the upper body strength of an anemic middle-aged woman, but God, my fucking legs.
Yep, every day's leg day, baby.
Yeah, getting out of bed. It's like doing a man, would I have a tight ass, I wonder? Like, would I look good in jeans? It's like everything I do is a big deadlift. Putting on my shoes is a deadlift.
Just existing is the leg workout. Yeah. I assume so, because I go through the same shit, especially with, like I said, with the socks that have a design on them. Like, oh, here's a cool pair of Iron Man socks, and you slide them on, and it's just it goes from Iron Man to MODOK. Just the wide head. Just God, kill me.
I remember the episode where Iron Man was a waterhead.
Like, if there's a face on a pair of my socks, they immediately turn into a fucking nightmare as soon as I put them on. Yeah, it's like wearing fun underwear. Like, it's not for anybody but you. You just walk around like, hey, I got this.
There's a secret. There's a secret on my shins. Ooh. And you're right, too. It's like flamboyant clothes doesn't come in our size. Plus, you really run the risk of just looking like a garish, like, parade float.
Well, and also, like I'm sure you've come to realize this in all your years, but fat people can't wear bright colors because they look like fruit.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Just look like one of the like foam Fruit of the Looms mascots from those commercials 10 years ago.
This guy trying to peddle briefs. What's going on here?
Like, if I were to throw on like a plain bright orange t-shirt and then go outside, everybody'd be like, "Where's that big pumpkin going? What's he got going on?" It's like, I can't bring myself to wear bright colors. Yeah. So,
oh man. A lot of black, a lot of gray.
Yep, a lot of dark colors and patterns. Yeah. You got to really confuse the eye is my strategy.
I'm not fat. I wear baggy clothes. Shout out to my buddy Brent. He's dropped that line many times.
Yep. I'm out to just confuse the eye. I got camo cargo shorts and a flannel long sleeve shirt over a t-shirt with a graphic on it. Like that's
about it. That's it. That's pushing the envelope enough.
I am happy though that now we have another accessory that we the fat can participate in, which is fun masks. So I have gotten a couple of those as well.
Ooh, good for you.
Yep, I've got one that just looks like the Hannibal Lecter mask, which is fun. I bought one that is it's Boo's face, Boo the Ghost from Mario Brothers.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
With the teeth and the tongue hanging out. It's like, now we're having fun.
There you go. Yeah. I am finding that with our brutal winters approaching, I am enjoying mask wear.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, you know what I invested in? In a scarf. I reached a point in my life, I'm a scarf man.
Oh, shit. Look at this fucking poet.
Look at this. Oh, is it Ralph Lauren? It is Ralph Lauren. It is very fancy.
Not to brag or anything.
Did I buy it off eBay? Because it was... Because if you buy used scarves, they're much cheaper. It said never worn. They could have just put an LOL at the end of that. I mean, it doesn't smell like boogers, so it doesn't smell like
anyone's handkerchief yet.
Last winter's sick. Because man, I don't know. Well, you didn't have siblings growing up in a house, or just there's always like a box of miscellaneous winter gear, and it all smelled like old snot.
Oh God.
Oh man, a lot of cousins. Because there's got to be that miscellaneous box when kids come over. Like, well. Find something here, like
I guess we got a spare stocking cap. Smells like spit.
I clearly remember being at one of my cousin's house and having a glove on one hand and a mitten on the other.
Man, a mitten is a dumb fucking invention. I've never once been glad I was wearing a mitten. I got until in high school, and I was still snowmobiling quite a bit. I had a baller ass pair of like 80 below graded quality mittens, which if you needed to do anything that involved even the slightest level of dexterity, completely fucking hopeless. But man, because you think when you're snowmobiling too, your fists are kind of exposed, so that's what's into the wind, you know. But like those mittens, man, I could see that there. You know, it seems extremely niche.
Yeah,
I've never. Like, I'm not a snowmobile. We weren't snowmobile people, so I never had that particular use for them. But you see trappers in old movies who have the huge fucking mittens on. I'm like, yeah, I suppose back then probably.
Yeah,
but when everything was hand stitched, I need some fucking gloves. Just some gloves.
Or what they also make is mittens that kind of like the top half can flip back.
I've seen those,
yeah. Like with like a thin glove underneath for when you got to do more dexterous work. Mm-hmm. There's some exciting mitten technology around the corner, Marlon. I think I'm going to sign you up to our newsletter. keep you abreast on all the hot mitten updates.
My hot glove tech that I partook in the last time I bought gloves were I bought a pair of Under Armour gloves, real thin Under Armour gloves that had in the pad of the index finger some different material so you could still swipe on your phone with it, which I thought was next level shit.
I'm just gonna say that is very fancy.
Yeah, they're not terribly warm, but I can use my phone with it.
Yeah.
So I got my priorities straight, I guess. Should have just gone to fucking Fleet Farm and bought a pair of those big yellow fuzzy Wells gloves, I think those are.
There's like a lot of the same gloves. There's one that as a kid I always saw. It had a mule on the tag on it. That mule company made a lot of gloves that sold in the upper Midwest. I don't know what their name was.
Company.
Yeah. Glad they're able to put a use to all those old mule hides.
Yeah, thank God. a lot of mules had to die for these gloves. It's not so bad though. You can get a lot of gloves out of a mule. I don't know if you've ever seen a mule, but they're big bastards. You get a lot of gloves.
Were there any mules around you growing up?
My old man rode a mule.
No kidding.
that was really the only mule in I think, the state of North Dakota. But that's what he rode. He rode a mule, a fucking big bastard, bigger than any of the horses.
Really?
Tall, real tall. Because they kind of come in two varieties. Either a mule is kicked out donkey size or horse size.
I didn't even know there's such a thing as a horse-sized mule.
Yeah, like, I forget what the combination is, but it has to be, I don't remember if it's male horse, female donkey, or the other way around, but one of those combinations gets you the big one, the big mule, and that's what my dad rode. We all rode horses growing up.
So how, in appearance then, can you clearly tell a mule, like a big mule, from a horse?
Yeah, like right off the bat from a distance, because they have enormous tall ears and usually a white snout like a donkey will have.
Oh, no kidding. God damn it, if we aren't informative on this podcast, who else is giving you these hot donkey updates?
Yep, they're hot donkey updates. Yep, we're coming in with fresh mule facts. They also, there's a bone that horses have at the top of the, like where the neck meets the body, like up by the shoulders, that a mule doesn't have, which causes the saddle to slide right off the front if they put their head down. So you have to use a different piece of tack to keep your saddle on.
Well, that's a word I haven't heard in a while.
I'm pretty sure it's not the first time it's been used on this podcast.
Could be true. Jesus, yeah. How are we not more successful with all this wealth of knowledge we have? Oh, I know, because none of it's relevant.
Right, and none of it's about The Simpsons, which we bill ourselves as a podcast about The Simpsons.
I've read about it. We should talk about, let's give it a try. Let's talk about The Simpsons. This will be fun.
I guess we're, 20 minutes into fiddle fucking around. We may as well talk about a little cartoon called The Simpsons, which is probably what you're here for. Or maybe you're here for mule facts. Maybe that's the next podcast. Mule facts.
We'll spell it with a Z so the kids know we're cool.
Yeah, because otherwise how would they know?
Yeah.
We are crossing over this week from Season 6 into Season 7. We have 2 episodes from Season 6 and 3 from 7. The first of which is episode 24 of Season 6, entitled Lemon of Troy. Bart is riding around and gets into some wet cement, wants to write his name in it, and does, which is a thing that I don't think I've ever gotten to do.
Yeah, I actually had a note asking you if that's that's the thing about, well, first off, you grow up in the country. That doesn't help things.
Right. Yep.
The closest, when I worked for the city crew in my hometown, we did like a strip, like a 5-foot wide, 30-foot long strip of a road that needed to be repaved. So with the tar gun, I spelt out my name on that. It was right in front of our high school. So I was like, this will live forever. And like, you could kind of maybe see it from like if you flew over with a plane.
Okay.
It was like
if you had a drone.
Yeah. And like within a year, it had faded into nothing. But for one hot minute, my name was emblazoned on the outside of our high school. In tar.
I feel like I have a vague memory of like putting my initials in some like Quikrete that maybe Grandma and Grandpa had to pour around the base of their shop or something. I feel like I've gotten to do that one time, but definitely not anywhere where anyone's ever going to see it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of concrete where I came from.
Oh, yeah. You would think with all the rocks.
That eventually it would just develop naturally.
Yeah.
Well, it also doesn't rain where I come from, so water being the other ingredient to that. Like, that's why, but like, we all had bikes and we all played basketball, but none of us had pavement. So like I played a lot of basketball just in the yard in my youth. And,
totally.
But you're dribbling on grass and dirt. So when you go into the school and try to play basketball, you immediately spike the ball into the ground and it hits the ceiling because you're used to having to dribble so fucking hard. And on uneven surfaces, if you dribble the ball, who knows what angle it's going at.
Ours too, like, A jumper from 15 feet away, the hoop's about 9.5 feet off the ground, but you got underneath the hoop. That hoop was 11 feet above you because you're just digging into the topsoil so much. And just the socks would be black. Me and my cousin Ryan would play I would make mixtapes of the country radio hits. I remember there was a particular Marty Stewart song we both liked. So we would pause the game so I could record back to the beginning of the Marty Stewart song, and then we'd play basketball for 4 minutes. And my tape deck would be held in between the steps on the giant old slide we had in our backyard. Because like when they were knocking down the old grade school in my hometown, I think my dad was like, I'm just going to throw all this old playground equipment and bring it home.
Smart.
So to this day, there's an old slide in my parents' backyard. There's like those little metal horses that on a big thick spring that little kids could ride. I think there's still 1 or 2 of those.
I was always like scared of those.
Yeah. Well, the kickback on those things can be quite troublesome. That's a tooth buster outer right there. That head kicks back and hits a toddler in the face. We have one of those like big metal poles with 2 chains with like the handles at the end of the chain, which is gotta be no school has them anymore because my brother compound fractured his arm in our backyard using that thing.
I don't even think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think they quit building those fuckers in the 50s. There's a few rural schools that still had them. Picture a 20-foot metal pole with like a spinning metal top, and you can hook chains to that. And there's about a 15-foot chain with 2 little metal handles about the width of your fists. So you could grab it with both hands, run, holding onto that, and you're about 10 feet away from the pole. You run and you jump outwards and pull yourself up. You do like a pull-up and hold those handles, and you can kind of swing around that pole.
Okay,
and one of 2 things can happen. You can take it at a bad angle and swing back and hit that fucking pole head on and bust yourself up. Or you can come in a little too hot, end up 20 feet in the air and fucking panic, pull the ripcord, and then break all of your arms and legs like my brother did.
Jesus.
Oh man, but because of how bad he broke his arm, we had to go to Minot because he had to go to the hospital like every couple of weeks to get it checked out. So then we got to go to the mall. So I'm like, we got to bust Jordan up every summer so we can keep going to Minot because Daddy needs to buy basketball cards.
I gotta visit this Sam Goody. Let's keep breaking fucking limbs.
I gotta visit the Sam Goody so I can see what I want to buy, and then walk over to Target and see if they have it at a cheaper price.
Yeah, don't get it at Walmart because they took all the curse words out. Oh man. So Bart writes his name in the wet cement. Marge appalled at this. She is weirdly full of town pride, real into
civic-minded woman.
Yeah, she's very into this is your community and it's a part of you. Has this weird kind of out of nowhere long speech.
So for a guy like you kind of probably grew up when you're in a super rural area. Civic pride's got to be hard when you're from a town that has 8 people in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then also your high school isn't necessarily in your hometown, like, it's like, what's technically your hometown? Like,
my hometown is Carson, North Dakota. But like we lived, 16 miles away. Yep. So it's like there was some town pride, but I feel like it was mostly just sports related. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody would have ever been like clutching pearls if you fucking put your name in the cement.
And there's just so little like what can you do in Carson? You got a gas station?
Well, no.
We got 1 bar?
Nope, 2 bars.
2 bars.
2 bars, a tiny grocery store, a butcher, a meat market, and they're the county seat, so like that's where the courthouse is. So you have everything that comes along with that. You have, county extension agent and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And I do think that there's a gas station there now. There was, and then there wasn't, and now I think there is again now. Just a place where you can fill gas or get a tire fixed if you have to.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, oh no, it's fucking buck wild. Yeah. Like, it's, so, like, in my high school days, like, what you did for fun was drive around.
Oh, yeah, drive Maine. Yep.
Yeah, you just drove around with your buds. Maybe you went and saw the stop sign, because there's one. And, yeah, that about covers it. That's about as much fun as you had.
Pull into the parking lot of something and flash your headlights to have your buddies come over, so then you can just sit there and do nothing instead of drive around and do nothing.
Yeah, just talk to each other through your open windows blocking the street, you know? A lot of that. Like, it got to the point in high school, you could identify whose headlights they were, like, coming your way. Like, oh, that one's got fog lights, so I know that's Morgan. She's the only one who drives around with her fog lights on, so stop and talk to her for a minute. And probably, and I'm going to say 60% of the time you're drinking the whole time, too.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get into high school age.
Yeah. Once you're of age.
Yeah, once you're of age, 15 or so. You're drinking and chewing tobacco and driving around. Let's go see the stop sign.
Yeah, there it is, all right. Yep. That's what you guys took town pride in.
Yeah, the one stop sign.
Yeah, the community would sign up every week. A different family took the upkeep.
They're out there
picking the weeds at the base, polishing it. Your dad's out there with a level all the time. Yep, still straight as an arrow.
Set your watch to that stop sign.
Yeah, they just sit in the car and make sure no one messes with the stop sign.
That was the whole purpose of our town cop.
You stopped a little too long that time. Keep it moving.
Sorry, I just wanted to stare at the sign a while. Yeah, we know.
We all do.
Just horrible times.
Oh, man, there's a great line in this one. Like, the kids are discussing the lemon tree and stuff, and I think it's Grandpa Simpson that start jabbering, and someone just shouts, "Hey, everybody, an old man is talking."
Yeah, and so they all, like, gather around.
Yeah, because there's nothing children enjoy more than the rantings of an elderly man.
Yeah. We get a fun bit of Nelson fishing and then hucking fish at cars, which is maybe the best delinquent shit I've ever seen. Yeah. We never got up to anything like that. So they Milhouse has a lemonade stand, and he needs more lemons, so they go find the Springfield lemon tree, just a giant communal lemon tree that everybody takes a bunch of pride in. And while they're there, the line between Springfield and Shelbyville is right there, and they run into some Shelbyville kids who are causing trouble trying to take some lemons off of them. And then we get Grandpa, again, sitting on a stump telling the kids the origin story of the lemon tree and how the Springfield-Shelbyville divide started, and it flashes back to the pioneer times where Mr. Shelbyville, not Shelby, but Shelbyville.
Yep, I love that too. Yeah,
is super excited to found his town so that cousins can get married, and that's the divide. That was a bridge too far for Jebediah Springfield, so he founded a different town.
And that statue of him in Shelbyville is like him with two women of the night that are probably related to him.
Yeah, you're left to assume that. The kids find that Shelbyville has stolen the lemon tree. The whole thing, which is a hell of a prank. You uprooted and stole a tree. Yeah. Is very impressive. So the Springfield kids all go to get their lemon tree back, and the parents are worried about them being gone. Martin gets teamed up with Nelson as they're all doing reconnaissance in the town, trying to figure out where their tree went. And at one point, Martin is about to get beat up by a Shelbyville bully, and he shouts, "Spring forth, burly protector!" Yep. And Nelson, Nelson is just browbeaten. He just comes out like, "I'm
normally
sorry."
Wouldn't hang out with him.
Yeah, like he's apologetic in having to defend Martin. But town pride makes for odd bedfellows in amongst the Springfield kids. Bart goes undercover to blend in with the Shelbyville kids and is eventually found out. And there's a fun skateboard chase where I forget I don't even know that we know the kid's name, but everyone kind of has a a Shelbyville doppelganger. So like their Bart is chasing our Bart.
Yeah. They have a big bully like Nelson.
Yeah, they have a Millhouse.
Named Millhouse.
Who turns out is literally a Millhouse. At the end of the skateboard chase, Bart is in the tiger pit, and there's like 12 doors. They all have Roman numerals, and it flashes back to him earlier, not paying attention in class on how Roman numerals work. And he eventually, through the power of the Rocky series, figures out, okay, that's the door without a tiger behind it, and manages to escape. They find the lemon tree. At this point, the parents find the kids, and they find the lemon tree in the impound lot, which is the most secure place in all of Shelbyville. Homer has brought a handful of the parents and piled into Ned's RV. First appearance of Ned's RV in a good long time.
Yep.
Probably since
good
season
point.
1, the RV episode. Oh, I still miss that RV salesman. That just made me think of that.
Those are the first funny parts of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I think honestly the first laugh out loud shit I had in this show was that RV salesman in that Simpsons in the Wild episode. The parents find the kids and they figure out how to get into the impound, which is to park it somewhere it's not supposed to be, get towed in, Trojan horse style. And
Very smart on Bart's part, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hilarious because Homer, once they climb out of the RV and start picking up the lemon tree, is like, yeah, never in history has something so smart been done. And it's like, no, this is just the Trojan horse. I thought that was a great joke.
I didn't even pick up on that. Good. Yeah, well done, Simpsons. Well done.
Smart ass Simpsons writers. So they get the tree and strap it to the top and make a harrowing escape out of Shelbyville and back into Springfield. The tree, like, half beaten down to death in the meantime, but they get it replanted, and all is well again in Springfield with their lemon tree back.
Yeah, and those poor Shelbyville kids, they have to eat or drink turnip juice now.
Yep, a cool glass of turnip juice.
Ever had a turnip? I don't know if I ever have.
I've had turnips, yeah.
Yeah.
I like most root vegetables. You give me a turnip or a rutabaga or fucking potato, carrot,
a beet.
A beet. You give me.
Oh man. I have in my middle age developed a strong affinity for pickled beets.
Oh, I grew up with pickled beets. And
yeah, I never liked them as a kid. I love them now.
Oh man, drink that purple juice, take it straight to the head.
That's the OG purple drink is the beet juice water.
Out of the jar, give it to me straight.
Oh man, yeah. I will choose a restaurant because they have pickled beets on their buffet or their salad bar.
Yeah, I'll fuck up a nice like shredded beet salad every so often. I'm a root vegetable man. I'm a root man, Nathan.
Yeah. I've always known that.
Give them to me straight.
Yeah.
I wonder, you could probably like take some pickled beet juice and concoct some manner of cocktail in there.
Oh, I bet. That's wow. Some enterprising mixologist is listening to this right now.
I have friends that are in that run in those circles. I should text them and be like, "Hey, make me something in a pickled beet juice."
Well, there's a great episode of Cheers where some hotshot bartender's kind of trying to steal Woody's shine, so they invent some kind of drink. And they don't really go into the full details, but at one point, Woody looks up at Norm like, "Oh, do you want your cucumber diced or crushed?" Very exotic.
Oh man, I love a cucumber drink. Mostly any drink you serve me that has cucumber in it, I'm probably going to be pretty into.
Really? Yeah, I've had a cucumber drinks. My cheapness stops me from enjoying shit like that. It's like, I could spend $7 on that, but for that price, I could maybe get 2 glasses of rail whiskey.
Yeah, no, I get it. Every once in a while, though, I really
nice
want
to treat yourself.
I want something fancy, and
It's
I'm
nice
not above. Like, I'm not some fucking tough guy. I am not above ordering some real fruity shit in at a bar.
Yeah, the thing that stops me from that more than anything is the like ensuing heartburn that comes with that kind of stuff for me. Like I will drink
that much sugar. Yeah.
Yep. It's I could drink 2 fucking gallons of Long Island iced tea and have myself a hell of a fucking one-man party. But oof, the pain gets me.
I don't think I had a Long Island iced tea for the first time till I was probably like 27 years old. I was with a buddy and they were on sale that day, and he's like, "What do you mean you've never? We gotta." And I sat there and had 4 Long Island iced teas with lunch, and was just shithoused the rest of the day.
They are fucking rocket fuel, man.
I had stuff to do that afternoon, and was not like. I was not expecting them to be the sucker punch that they
Long Island iced teas are pretty much the reason I failed out of college. Because every Wednesday we would go to the Ground Round for half-price Long Island teas and free chicken wings. And they were the worst chicken. So you're just filling your body with 1.5 pounds of questionably prepared chicken meat, with topping it off with, I don't know, 100 ounces of Long Island tea. All of this being done from 4 to 5 p.m. So just out of your mind drunk at 5 p.m. And then the night would just go downhill, like from either, violently sick or just violent. Just bad decisions being made all over the place.
Yeah,
There's no time for studies during that.
Our Long Island iced teas that day, it was like, I'm missing a shoe and it's 2 p.m. What is happening?
Wearing somebody else's shoes.
I do enjoy them though, but just a 1 or a 2 now.
So we are up to perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest moment in Simpsons history, the Who Shot Mr. Burns saga. So this is it, Are you ready, Marlon?
I am. This was something I was excited to see when I saw that it was coming up, because this was something that I heard about culturally, but never got to see. So
same here. So the beginning of it is that they strike oil in the Springfield school. I think they're burying a hamster that passed away, and that oil is close to the top of that surface, because groundskeeper Willie doesn't get very far into the ground, and there is oil bursting forth.
It wasn't even outside; it was in the basement of the school.
Concrete. So first up, he shoveled. I mean, the guy has amazing upper body strength, so he could somehow shovel. Yeah. So there's oil everywhere, and then of course, what are we going to spend all this sweet, sweet oil money on? And there's all sorts of great ideas thrown around. There's an ongoing joke about getting Tito Puente to teach music class.
Yeah, he's in these 2 episodes a lot.
Yeah, which I enjoy. He's featured very prominently.
I didn't know the guy, so if there was anything more than, hey, this is a famous salsa guy, then I missed it, because I don't know who the fuck that is.
I think I'm just old enough. I remember Tito Puente as a kid being like on talk shows and stuff, like at night playing the drums. Like,
okay.
So yeah, there's money to be spent, and of course, Mr. Burns, of course, heaven forbid someone's getting ahead in life and he's not taking advantage of it, dresses up like a teen and tries to impress them.
Just dresses up like Jimbo, like the same shirt.
He basically just steals Jimbo's clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like him pretending to be a teen, though. I did. It gave me those vibes of like Steve Buscemi, like, hello fellow teens. Yeah.
And of course, I enjoyed it because we got to see one of my favorites, Feeble Burns. Yeah. Feeble Burns tries to physically convince Principal Skinner to give up the oil. He's just pawing at him. It's so pathetic.
And calling for Smithers, calling for help. Like, I love weak ass Feeble Burns.
Big fan of that. So, but he does end up getting his revenge by doing a little There Will Be Blood style, drink your milkshake, slant drilling.
I had the exact same thoughts. I was like, oh, here we go. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Drinking that milkshake. I love how he's got it like at a tilt, too. Like,
yeah.
Like the oil derrick is at a tilt, too. Like,
yeah, it's just 45 degrees, still drilling straight, but at an angle. Do you like that movie?
Loved it. I mean, but it's what kind of movie I don't. It was one of those movies I bought and like, why do you own this? When are you going to sit down and watch this? Just visually in the theater, though, I just loved it. I love Daniel Day-Lewis.
I remember not caring for it, but it's one in recent years I've been like, I should go back to that. I think I held a bit of a grudge against it at the time because it came out either alongside or pretty close to No Country for Old Men.
It came out the same year.
And I remember they were up for like every Oscar category that year against each other. And I was like, man, fuck that movie. No Country for Old Men is the movie. Yeah. And No Country for Old Men won the Oscar that year. But I remember holding a grudge against There Will Be Blood for whatever I need to watch it again. Because I remember coming to the end of it and being like, what was the point of this film? Why did I watch this? Yeah,
I'm just thinking about it. It's like, I'd like to see it again in the theater. That's one of those. And man, I'm telling you right now, I'm really worried about the state of movie theaters in this country. It ain't looking good, dude. I think Warner Brothers just announced that all of their 2021 movies are going to be released to HBO Max.
Yep, which is
scary stuff. As much huge. I don't like that, not one bit.
I like going to the movie theater a lot.
Fuck yeah, man.
But, like, they also, I think, if I'm reading that story properly, they'll also be released to theaters. But we'll see if people leave their house to go see them at the theater when you could just watch it at home.
Yeah. God, get out of the house, people. Share a communal experience with your neighbors.
I love the entire process of going to the theater. I love getting, like, fountain pop that has too much syrup in it. Yeah. Like, you get a real good cherry Pepsi and the sound and I like the ordeal, all the pomp of going to the movie theater.
I like people like, it costs $100. Quit fucking buying giant popcorns for your dipshit kids. Yeah, Jesus Christ, you're the one say no to your fucking kids. Like if we went to a movie in Minot and my dad saw the prices on it, he's like, no, we sneak some popcorn in mom's purse, if anything, you know. Like, I'll bring some jerky in for the kids.
Yep. What's your snack? If you're getting a soda and one snack, is it popcorn?
God, that's a good soda's the most important. Got to be hydrated when you're watching a movie.
Yeah, probably better hydrate popcorn with some sugar water.
Yeah, with some carbonated sugar water. It's probably it's got to be popcorn, but boy. Movie theater popcorn, it's so good, but you also just feel like you're dying after because you eat too much of it. Like I just ate 4 bushels of popcorn. The fucking credits aren't even done, or the trailers aren't even over yet. Like, just feeling uneasy for the rest of the movie. But
see, I can make a bucket of popcorn last for most of the movie. I get into the sadness when you go the candy route and it's like, oh, this box of dots is gone and we're still in the shitty quiz show before the previews even start.
I'm a Raisinette man.
Yeah, really?
I like raisin candies. I like raisin cookies. I fucking like raisins, man. I'm not going to apologize for it anymore.
I like raisins and I like raisins in cookies, but there's something about raisin plus chocolate that I
love
can't,
it.
I can't do.
Yeah, I'm nom. I'm a fan.
I'll get behind like the yogurt raisins, like the white ones. Those are good.
Oh yeah, I don't mind them. Yeah, now that you say that, I don't dislike it.
If I'm not going popcorn at the movie theater, it depends on, am I in a fruity mood or a chocolate mood? Because that determines whether or not it's dots or it's cookie dough bites. But it's usually dots.
I've been in the position where I'm like, oh, fuck, I haven't had a chance to eat yet. You can get a hot dog at the movies now, which...
Really?
I've eaten a couple of dogs.
I've always wondered who is getting the real food at the movie theater. The hot dog or the nachos.
Getting the pork roast dinner.
Open-faced hot beef sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never ordered real food. I went to I went to a movie in the down in the cities once where it was like, we have actual food and drinks that we'll bring right to your to your seat. That was kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
I had a nice cocktail while watching Transformers 3.
I also get into it. Like, I would enjoy that more if it's a classic I've already seen, or it's like a shit movie that I'm just there to make fun of. But if it's a good movie that I want to see, my heart beats down to like 4 or 5 a minute. I get into like a movie coma.
Oh God, I love the seat. I'm big into the all assigned seating now that we've all accepted.
Oh, see, I've accepted it now. I don't like it, but I've accepted it. Really? I like to be like a free safety. I like to drop back. Maybe I move up a little bit depending on the crowd. Like I used to like to swap seats, and it also hurt my double dipping game. I used to be a very, very audaciously blatant double dipper. That was my way of sticking it to the man. See, you buy the ticket for the small art house movie you want to support. Then, hey, if you want to see, the next big Avengers movie, then you just double dip, brother. But now you might be sitting in somebody's seat.
Yeah, and then you're busted.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
I have been busted multiple times. I just play dumb. Oh, I guess on this ticket, I guess it's. Oh, I see. As I'm holding a ticket from a movie from 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my seat. Okay, I do that 4 more times.
I'll definitely go where I don't belong at a concert, like 20 minutes into the show, and you see, well, that whole section over there is empty, so that's where I'm watching the concert from for sure. Like I'll do that, but I've never fucked around at the movies.
Oh yeah, I've done a triple dip back when I didn't, especially at a whole Saturday, I do a triple dip.
Man.
Hit that nooner, sneak into a 2 o'clocker, then maybe sneak into like a 4:30 a little bit late.
I mean, if it times out right, why the hell not?
Oh man, I half the fun is planning out the double dip, looking at the time. Ooh, can I do this? How far across the theater is this? Yeah, is this the kind of movie I want to miss the first 5 minutes of?
Am I fine with that?
Yeah.
Can I get all the way across this theater complex in that time?
How audacious am I just discussing my crimes? I'm such an outlaw. I can't be tamed.
You're a real rebel, real Steve McQueen over here.
Yeah. So the slant drilling is not good for the community. Eventually they blow the stack off of the oil derrick, and it destroys Bart's treehouse and severely injures Santa's little helper. They end up, because of like the environmental damage, they end up having to close Moe's.
Yeah, because it has vapors in it that aren't safe.
Yeah. So, and then the school had already purchased a bunch of shit, so it lost a ton of money. And so everyone is more pissed at Burns than usual. And then that complete son of a... he fires Smithers.
Yeah.
And
the retirement home collapses into a sinkhole.
Yep. Yeah, Jesus.
Really fucks up the whole town.
In a kind of a separate yet related story, Homer is slowly developing a seething hatred because Burns can never remember his name. Burns remembers there's that great scene where he's pointing out every other member of the Simpsons family in that box of chocolates, and like just the most obscure episodes. Like, oh yes, that's the young Simpsons girl, Maggie, who found my beloved Bobo.
Oh, there's Bart. He was my heir apparent for a short time.
Yeah. And so they have, and then they have like an emergency city town meeting, and they're all losing their mind over Mr. Burns' evil, and he just drops by to kick it up a notch by announcing that he's going to block out the fucking sun.
Yep, which is some fucking
super
Cobra Commander shit.
Yep. From a giant mountain that is apparently just outside of Springfield.
Springfield has whatever you need it to have. Yeah.
So he's and he does follow through with his plans. The giant sunblock comes out. All the lights are on at fucking 3 p.m.
Which he loves because he owns the electric company.
And
so.
At that city council meeting, when everyone's leaving and all the actions happen, it's great when Krusty shows up just a couple seconds late. And I like that he was in Reno for 6 weeks.
Yep, I wrote that down too. That's a long time to be in Reno, buddy.
Yeah, and I'm just glad Krusty shares my affinity. I fucking love Reno.
Really?
Give me
I've never been
over
to
Vegas any dude. Reno is what Vegas should be. Like
dirty.
Yeah, and I enjoy Vegas. You know what my enjoyments in life are. Of course I enjoy Las Vegas, but like it's just, oh man, like everyone's fucking smiling and everyone's teeth are fucking straight. Everyone's fucking too happy, man. It's just fuck you guys, man. Everyone's just so fucking happy to be here. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Like no one smiles in Reno, man. It's the best. Everyone is just so many levels of desperation. Like, like so many tiny little Asian ladies that are just fucking pissed. They're at a level of pissed. Like as soon as they enter the casino, it's so great. Just hating everything and everyone. And like, man, it's the best.
What tickles your heart more, seeing a sad gambler or an angry gambler?
Oh man, yeah. God, I love it. I love shitty poker players that get their comeuppance and then are pouting about it. Oh, like that play like dopes, get unfairly lucky for a hot spell, and then just slowly lose it all. Oh,
I'm sure they get like an undeserved smugness to them.
Oh, bro, and then and sometimes justice isn't served. Sometimes those guys turn $100 into $1,400 and walk away, and it's like. Mm-hmm. You just fucking seethe. But then when you get to start taking part in the dismantling of that guy's empire, fucking chef's kiss on that one, man.
It's real deep schadenfreude.
When you look down at your cards and you just realize, okay, man, you are taking this guy's money. How are you going to play this to take the maximum amount of money? And when it works out, oh my God.
Man, so I don't understand poker, and I'm not good at it. Like, I understand what's a good hand, what's a bad hand, fucking, like playing Hold'em, these two cards are worth chasing something, these two are not. But once you get further than that, once you get into, slow playing and bluffing and all that, I'm just fucking lost.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I understand the mechanics and then none of the nuance.
Yeah. I spent a good 2 or 3 years in my 20s when I should have been like developing career skills. I spent those reading and studying pokers. Again, with the lots of knowledge, none of it makes me remotely employable.
It's like being good at pub trivia.
Yeah.
I'm just loaded with useless knowledge.
Exactly, yeah.
See also being in radio. I'm real good at one specific thing that doesn't translate to anything else. Yeah. Which is always apparent when you start trying to get a job after you leave radio.
Oh, bro, I can get anxiety just thinking about that. So what can you do? Oh, fuck, what can...
Well, I know how to run these 3 software programs that only radio uses. It's like, okay, well, it doesn't apply here at all.
Do you like funny stories?
How are you guys? How's this company view anecdotes?
Because I'm just full of them.
Yeah, but maybe you and I maybe sit down and figure out how to play poker. That would be
oh man.
Maybe that's the next podcast.
There we go. Yeah.
Marlon and Nathan's gambling tutorials.
As I slowly get more and more outraged by my lack of patience.
Well, especially like if I look down at my hand and see 2 aces, I immediately big smile. I'm looking around. I'm pushing chips in,
like elbowing the guy beside you and showing him your cards. Hey, check this shit out.
Just let out a big hey. And
what do you think of this?
I'm no fucking good at it.
I think I'm just good enough at it to get me into serious trouble.
I play poker the way I play blackjack. Cards up in front of me, just going,
Yeah, just deal them face up. Then we can all enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah. Come on, we're all friends here, right?
I'm a showman. I want people to enjoy this alongside me.
Can I split these 8s? That's a pair, Marlon. No, I don't. Always split 8s. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, man, I struggle to split 8s against aces, but the fucking numbers say you're supposed to. But to me, it just feels like now I got 2 shitty hands instead of 1 shitty hand, and I don't like that feeling.
No, I play blackjack with the dumbest baseline advice of always split eights and always assume the next card's a 10. And I do okay. Just having two real nuts and bolts idiot pieces of advice to follow. And
that
I do
info
just
there
fine.
puts you ahead of a lot of dum-dums that are playing. The cowards that'll sit on a 13 against an ace. It's like, are you expecting him to bust? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to accept the fact that you're going to lose a bunch. This isn't, it's a war of attrition. You're not going to win every battle.
Yep.
Or no, you should just not fucking play. That's like, I've had people, I wish I knew how to play blackjack. No, you don't. Do I look happy? Do I ever look happy? No, you leave that table pissed.
Who would you rather be at a blackjack table with? Like, let's say it's a full blackjack table, and one of those people is either someone who doesn't know how to play blackjack or someone who is an asshole about telling everyone they're playing blackjack wrong.
Oh, man.
Because those are the two dickheads at blackjack tables.
Yep. It probably has to do with whether I'm doing poorly or not. If I'm doing poorly, because, again, I should just not be playing. I just hate the dopes that don't know what they're doing, that slow the fucking game down. Or, for me, it's the drunks that just have to be reminded 3 times that they're playing blackjack. Like, hey, what are you going to do? Just like, let's get this fucking show on the road so I can lose all my fucking money.
I've been the guy too drunk to be
It's
playing
more
blackjack.
so poker, like home poker games. It drives me up the wall. Which is that's a flaw in mine. Like, you're with your friends.
I was gonna say that's a you problem.
Yeah.
If you're getting
it is.
upset
It is. It's
at this $5 game in your buddy's garage,
I need the action. That's why I'm like, I need this. I need the drug. I need the hit.
You're just itching your neck. Just come on.
Mm-hmm. Get fucking going. Look at those 2 cards. Make a fucking decision.
You're the fucking big blind. Get in there. God damn it.
Yeah.
Just flip the table over.
Tell you, oh yeah. But back to The Simpsons. So the sun is blocked out. Things are chaos, except for Smithers, who is just loving life. He's just singing a happy tune, walking through Springfield alone. And we see him approach somebody in the shadows. We don't know what happens. We hear a confrontation and we hear a gunshot. And then a very, body shot. You don't want to get shot in the torso. That's never good.
Nope.
A torso shot Mr. Burns collapses on the town sundial where he's found by Marge. So we don't know who shot him. And then it pretty much fades to black. Who shot Mr. Burns is the question on everyone's mind.
And that's the end of that season. That's how they ended that thing.
Yep.
They
Very well constructed. There was some laughs, but I was really impressed by how well constructed. It was just well done.
Because
they planted a lot of seeds.
Yeah, they made sure to really lean into, in this episode, showing that literally everyone has a valid reason to want to murder Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
And then, because if you just read the title of the episode, Who Shot Mr. Burns, you're like, oh, they're doing a fucking Dallas thing.
Yeah.
But they for sure made it their own, and I was pretty impressed.
I agree, yeah. You could just tell how much permission they had to do whatever they want. You could tell they had the run of Fox to be able to pull off a move like this, yeah. Mm. And it paid off. The ratings were through the effing roof, Yeah,
this episode did over 15 million viewers, and then people had the whole summer to kick it around and to talk about who shot Mr. Burns. And when they came back for season 7, the premiere episode of Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2, which is the next one we're going to discuss, they raked in 22.6 million people watched this.
I don't even know if that's possible anymore with just the demise of network television. How many Americans even have antenna TV available anymore?
Yeah, how many people could watch tonight's new episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, but before you get into the next episode, I got some hot deets because we're into season 7, baby.
Boom.
That's it. We're just chugging right along. Debuted in the fall of '95. I was about to enter my sophomore year of high school. I'm gonna tell you that's when life changed for old Nate Fulsabuck, Marlon.
Oh boy, sophomore year was a whole new year.
It totally was, man. I got a driver's license. I was finally old enough to work so I could have my own money. And I discovered the sweet, delicious taste of alcohol, I think when I was 15. So things really, I know alcohol is destructive, but man, it really helped me out in high school because I had nothing else going for me. That became my thing. I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't smart. I didn't really have a
party
niche.
Animal?
Yeah, I was like, I'll be a party guy. And that worked out real well for me. I found my tribe.
Party guy.
Business cards. I had the upper Midwest teenage party guy expos. I would share my cards with other party guys. Hey, if you're ever in our region, just come party with me.
Hey, I'm speaking at the next party guy convention. Come on by. It's a Q&A.
Oh, man. So, Simpsons. Go right ahead. Sorry.
Just real briefly, I would have been just entering the 4th grade. I had been, this would have been the fall of my 10th year. I had been 10 years old when this happened. Probably, by this point, have had my first taste of alcohol. I wasn't partying yet, but I'm willing to bet that around this time I also would have been entering into the alcohol world. Because we start early where I come from. And 4th grade, I'm trying to think here.
Or would you have been entering the 5th? Were you 10 already? Because I think you turn 10 in the 4th grade. You turn 11 in the 5th grade.
I'd have been headed into the 5th grade, where this would have been the year that I, for the first time, would have gotten in what was our version of detention, because as I've mentioned before, we never kept kids after school because they're all farm kids and no parent's going to drive in to get their dumb kid. I forget the crime, but I definitely remember having to sit in Mr. Nelson's office during recess and write sentences over and over again, but I, for the life of me, don't remember the crime. This would have been Mrs. Weeks' 5th grade class.
5th grade is probably, people should point out to parents that you should really savor the 5th grade because that's the last year for quite a while your kids are going to be decent. Because, for me, my biscuits drop pretty early into the 6th grade. And you're just a foul fucking cum beast from 6th grade well into high school. I mean, you're just fucking gross and you're angry because you want to put your dick in everything. Just stink. You start to fucking stink. God, you turn into a legit troll. It's so depressing.
This would have been the first year that you had to wait until 5th grade before you were allowed in the computer lab. So this would have been my discovery of Oregon Trail and Snake and Carmen Sandiego, other PC, slightly educational PC games of the time. Computer lab being a pretty big stretch. It was, I think, 4 Apple IIs crammed into what used to be a coat closet.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was going to say, it comes up later in this. I hadn't discovered the internet yet. I think that would have been the next year I would have discovered the internet. But
oh, man, I was probably 5-7 years from discovering the internet at this point.
Let's see, but we
certainly didn't have internet on any of those Stone Age computers. Putting in the big 5-inch floppy disks.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
To play Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. Play a lot of Fraction Munchers, who enjoyed me some Fraction Munchers. But for The Simpsons, they are still, it's in their prime. They're just fucking chugging along, getting good ratings, especially for Fox standards. And so because of that, The Simpsons was kind of the bell cow, and they would like to try to attach shows to The Simpsons to maybe, build some success.
Get them lead-in numbers.
Yeah, the lead-in numbers. And they tried, and boy, did it fucking blow up. They tried a whole pile of horse shit in 1995, 96. The first of which, Marlon, was a show called To Something, like TOO, To Something. Sound like a dumb title? It fucking was. They realized that because they switched titles midway through the first fucking season.
Really?
They they wanted to have a contest where the viewers could choose the new title, but no one watched it. And they chose a new title while it was on hiatus. How fucking great is that? And it came back later that spring under the name New York Daze, spelled D-A-Z-E.
That's not good either.
Fucking as dumb as it sounds. And I I couldn't even find footage of this fucking blood fart of a show, but I just looking at it, it had lots of 90s goatees, like a lot of trying to be fucking sarcastic and nihilistic by the looks of it. Like, I'm guessing this was like a mashup of like Seinfeld meets Clerks, but none of the good stuff.
Oh, just sure. We would have kicked off kind of the independent filmmakers by now, right? The Clerks, the
Seinfeld ripoffs were just fucking. We're probably a year or two away from the Friends ripoffs, but we're tits deep in Seinfeld ripoff. Every network wanted their Seinfeld. Oh my! But yeah, I can just imagine the lack of laughs, just the smarminess and thinking they're fucking funny. Oh my god!
Was anyone of note attached to this? No.
No. Portia de Rossi, is that how you pronounce her name?
Portia de Rossi. Yeah.
De Rossi, yeah. Like Ellen's slam piece is like had to be her first piece, like. And she was like on Arrested Development. She's a great actress, but this had to be one of her first roles because I doubt she mentions it often when she's applying for work. Did you ever see 2 something? Nope. Don't worry about it. No one gave a shit.
How about New York Days?
Yeah. What? And briefly, I think they would just panic because these shows were so bad. For like a month, they put Martin in. They had like a back-to-back Simpsons Martin, and Martin, always did well.
Was Martin still producing new episodes at the time?
Oh yeah, Martin was in its heyday at this point. Yeah. And
I always think that Martin is older than it is.
Oh, no. Yeah, Martin's probably like 93 to 94 to like 98, if I had to guess.
Oh, okay.
They also, for about a month, the second to last season of Married to Children aired their new episodes on Sundays after The Simpsons.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I love me some Married to Children. I will stand up for that show, but boy, did that, for a decade plus long show, did that show have an inglorious death. Like, they got the new dog at the end, and you could just tell no one wanted to be there anymore. It put off a very
limped through it.
Yeah, they didn't even get a final episode. A show they didn't, because they didn't know it was the end. Like, it was just kind of, people had a hunch, but like, no, Fox just released like a statement. Yep, we're canceling Married to Children, like their first hit show, by far their first, because they were like in season 3 or 4 when The Simpsons started. So yeah, Married to Children was certainly the first successful sitcom of Fox. And yeah, to go out in such a whimper.
I've seen 5 minutes of that show here and there, but have never like all I know about that show is Al Bundy with his hand in his pants in front of the TV while his wife wants to bang, but he's lazy. Like, that's literally all I know about the show.
Yeah, but yeah, it's that, but so much more. Yeah, it's one of those shows that someone tells me they don't like it. I get it. It's very offensive. Like, even looking back now, it's like, now I know why my mom hated this show. Like, but I also know why my dad loved it. Like, the acting, Ed O'Neill, the actress that plays Marcy, there's some bangers. Well, Christina Applegate's proven that she's super talented, and Katie Siegel is great.
Yep. And because I never saw that show, I know Katie Siegel from Sons of Anarchy, and I know Ed O'Neill from Little Giants with Rick Moranis, and that's it.
Ed O'Neill was built in a lab to play this role. He's so good at it.
Yeah, that's one that I just never got back around to. Much like The Simpsons, didn't see it at the time, so I just never.
See, we lucked out. It was on reruns every night at like 9:30 or 10 I think on our ABC affiliate. They showed reruns, and we just ate that shit up.
And I feel
that's
like
one of those shows I might have seen every episode by now. I don't know if I've ever missed.
Nice.
Because it was on so much.
And I think that became like a syndication monster for like TBS or FX. Yeah, I think FX aired that show a ton.
Yeah.
So I probably caught 5 minutes here or there, like at the end of an episode while I was waiting for The Shield to start,
And after they gave about a month's worth of Married to Children, they brought on a show so I assume terrible that it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I was like looking at microfilm, like I'm trying to fucking, break down the Kennedy assassination like a crackpot. I finally found a 1996 article from the fucking Baltimore Sun newspaper so I could find out about this goddamn. The premise is a fucking super white bread, fucking preppy white guy quits his job writing for like a Jay Leno type talk show to go write for like an Arsenio Hall type talk show. And just the premise alone, like, holy fuck, I don't like this show right now.
No kidding.
And I did a little YouTube deep digging and I found some bits of it. It is exactly what you fucking picture, man. It's fucking white guys drive like this, doo-doo-doo, black guys drive like this, doob-a-doob-doob. Like, oh, fuck. It's like, you're not cut out to write for a show like this, Dennis. Like, oh, I don't know. And then all the black guys, yeah, and he's like, ooh, oh my God.
Oh, boy.
Fuck.
What is it called?
The Show.
The show
is, they're like the band, except not good.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Oh, man.
Makes it hard to Google, I'd imagine.
Yep, absolutely. And it's not worth the effort, I found out. And another show,
shit.
weirdly, no one of note. I mean, people that have been making a living in Hollywood, but no one that went on to fame. Like, some of those earlier shows, weirdly, like Drexel's Class had like 3 teenagers that became stars in it. Like, but this show, no. Like, its footprint is very non-existent.
I love the idea of you out here with like a fedora and leather coat, just trying to archaeological dig up some of these fucking
like,
shows.
Making it seem like the government is like willfully causing this to happen. Like, what don't they want us to know? I swear. I promise you the show. I'm going to find out about you. Your story will be told.
You're out here dressed like Sam Neill, brushing dust off these fossils.
Oh, one note on this season 7, Doris Grau, who provided the voice of Lunch Lady Doris, died during the production of season 7.
Oh, that's
so
sad.
For like the next decade or so, Lunch Lady Doris is pretty much just a background character, which I thought was interesting. It's like, because we got a lot of Lunch Lady Doris in season 6. I really like that character. So
yeah, I feel like she's popped up with some amount of regularity lately. So
we'll hit an episode in season 7 where she talks, and then you don't see her talk for like another 10 years. So, And here's something I thought was interesting. I saw in the notes too is they got new executive producers of the show, and their goal was to aim for more realistic episodes. So. And we kind of discussed that, like, Homer Goes to Space kind of rubs some of the Simpson people the wrong way. So apparently it rubs some of the writers the wrong way, too. So they're kind of going in that direction.
Maybe some smaller stories. Because, like, season 6 was also the episode where, like, we went to Australia and you know, big episodes like that. Okay.
And I also saw a note, too, that they aimed for, like, less big celebrities and more smaller celebrities with unique voices. Because you do kind of get like a Starfucker vibe from some of these seasons of The Simpsons. They just wanted the biggest names. Like, because I'm just sure it's like, you know, they're on Fox. They're like the little engine that could. Like, holy shit, we're going to get Elizabeth Taylor. Holy shit, we're going to get Michael Jackson, you know, like.
Ringo Starr for no reason.
Yeah, there is nothing that could be done to fucking quell these guys' junk hunger for the fucking Beatles, you know, like. Jesus. Just. Have some goddamn self-respect.
Can we? Is it too late to rename this podcast Junk Hunger?
There's probably already a podcast called Junk Hunger.
Holy shit!
I guarantee it is not family friendly.
Man.
Yeah.
Or it's some American Pickers style podcast.
That's true. I hope there's a podcast called Junk Hunger and they don't realize the very homoerotic undertones of the title.
Yep, it's just about like antiquing and finding good finds.
Yeah. I was deep in a mud hole in Arkansas. Welcome to Junk Hunger. What?
Oh, God.
So we're on to. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to steal your thunder. This is your baby.
Let's get to the bottom of Who Shot Mr. Burns, episode 1 of season 7. This is Who Shot Mr. Burns, part 2. We get right off the bat a good Dallas joke, because if you're gonna call these episodes that, you might as well do a Dallas joke. With Smithers finding Mr. Burns in the shower, but it's all a dream. I really like the shitty Smithers in this episode. Like, he's hammered all the time, he's disheveled. Smithers is taking this hard and falling apart, and he's also the prime suspect in the investigation. The town goes out, they mob up and tear down Burns' sunshade, which destroys Shelbyville in the process.
Yeah.
So they just...
so great. Like, the screams of anguish were so good.
They just yank it down like the Saddam Hussein statue, and you hear screaming and crashing in the background. And what was that? Oh, it's just Shelbyville, and they all applaud.
Yeah.
Smithers assumes that he's the one who did it and confesses. He has kind of some foggy, drunken memories of stumbling into someone and discharging his gun. So he figures, I must have done it.
Holy shit, too, dude. Drunk Smithers' apartment was so gross.
It's worse than
doors
Barney's.
Off the frame.
Like, Barney lives better than Smithers does.
So, yeah, that is exactly what my notes say, too. Like, it's like, holy shit, man, when your apartment is worse than Barney's, you need to really take a quick glimpse in the mirror and see where you're going wrong. And I love, too, that he goes from being just a straight-edge nerd to just taking shit scotch straight to the dome every waking moment.
Yeah. I have discount fortified scotch, which as soon as I read that label, fortified scotch, I'll
tell you what right now, scotch does not need to be fortified. No, scotch is fortified plenty.
Yep. Scotch has enough booze in it.
Yeah. Have you a Scotch man now?
It's been a long time since I've given it a shot. I think I would be closer to being a Scotchman now than I was probably 8 years ago when I first tried to saddle that Bronco. But it was. I remember being like, "This is fine," but I don't quite get it. But I also was probably drinking $25 Scotch, so it's not like I had a smoking jacket on at the time.
Yeah. I've learned to enjoy Scotch. I like trash beer, but the one thing I'll get a little fancy on is of my Scotch I like a good Irish whiskey too, but I like a good Scotch. Sometimes it gets a little too peaty, too smoky for my taste, which I think is redundant to some people because that's why you drink Scotch, like that, for the peatiness. But I like a good mix, like just the right amount of peatiness. But this is turning into a fucking Scotch podcast, so I'll change the subject. We're going to quickly discuss, have you ever had a dirty, cheap Scotch drunk? Holy fuck.
No.
If you want to time travel, buy a bottle of J&B Scotch. On the night before I was supposed to take my ACT tests, me and a friend got a cheap bottle of Scotch, and I started browning out for alarming periods of time. At one point, my friend was mixing half Scotch and half creamed mint in shot glasses and handing it to me because I would drink it, and everyone thought that was hilarious. It's like, I was dying. That's what that was. That was low. I remember I woke up in my own rental house, and there were people I didn't know fighting in my yard. That's never what you want. Like,
did you unintentionally start bum fights?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who. Like, it's like, oh boy, this is not good at all. I don't like this.
Oh, I drank some discount Scotch and I founded World Star last night.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah. I remember taking my ACT tests. Had to be still legally drunk. I know I was. It's so violently ill. I remember I just stood up at my chair, and the lady who I knew, because it was my hometown, she's a sweetheart. She's like, Nathan, you have to finish the test. You can't get up. I'm like, Mrs. So-and-so, if I do not leave right now, we are going to have a fucking incident. And I went and puked up so much. Way too black. You're not supposed to puke black stuff up, Marlon. That's not good.
Jeez.
And yeah. But looking back, it was the math portion, so I definitely I skipped the right part because I wasn't going to get those questions right anyhow.
Yeah, you didn't miss out on anything. I don't think none of those points were yours anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was. Yeah, it's like playing whist. I was sloughing tricks at that point. That was not my time to shine.
Yeah, all of those grades go in the discard pile.
Yeah, just power through the vocab part well enough so you can get into college somewhere. That's what I did. Here I am, college man.
Made it.
Made it. Yep. Crippling debt.
Yep, that's all they wanted.
Yep. Sign that paperwork.
Expensive.
Yep.
I speaking of Scotch, actually thought of you just the other day when I was perusing through Twitter, and Patton Oswalt was showing off his Scotch Advent calendar, where you tear open a little door every day in December leading up to Christmas, and behind it is a tiny little like jar or bottle with a shot of a different Scotch every day.
Oh, that's fun. A little cutie pie. I
was like, oh, that's adorable. So if you want to see how that's going, he's been like every day doing a little write-up on here's today's and here's what I thought of it. Because Patton Oswalt is delightful. Mm-hmm. And adorable.
Yeah. Very puggish as a man, like build-wise. Everyone loves pugs. Everyone should love Patton.
Everyone does love Patton, I think. I think Patton's doing all right.
You kind of, if you don't like Patton Oswalt, I think that's a you problem.
Yep. I think so, too. I think that reflects on you. So Smithers assumes that he's the one who has murdered Mr. Burns or shot Mr. Burns. Burns not dead. Burns in the hospital in a coma. There's a great quick scene where they're like, yeah, they took him to the Veterans Hospital and they pronounced him dead. Then they took him to a real hospital and now he's just in a coma. It's like, and they
he's even been upgraded to living or whatever they say. Yeah.
They even show like the disheveled Veterans Hospital. It's like, oof. Yep. That's how that looks.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
Smithers confesses, but then Sideshow Mel corrects him because Smithers like gives some pithy jab, and Sideshow Mel's like, well, he clearly saw this on Comedy Central, and that's where that joke came from, so he couldn't have been there and shot Mr. Burns. Turns out the figure who he briefly tussled with and then shot was Jasper, and he shot him in the wooden leg.
Yeah.
I love the shot of Jasper holding this prosthetic leg with a bullet stuck in it. Wiggum is determined to figure out who shot Mr. Burns. They go and interview Tito Puente, who's like does this salsa number, saying like, "I wouldn't shoot him. I'd write." He essentially writes a slam salsa against Mr. Burns.
It's so great, yeah.
And that played out, which was very funny. I think my biggest laugh in a while. Like, The Simpsons has been funny this whole time, but I think my biggest laugh in a while, even though I saw it coming, was them interviewing groundskeeper Willie, and he's got his kilt on, and he does the Sharon Stone Basic Instinct, where he uncrosses his legs and flashes his crotch to the police. Yeah. Holy shit. And, like, that was funny enough, but then one of the cops saying, "Can you please stop doing that?" Because he's done it several times. Holy shit.
Have you ever seen that scene in Basic Instinct where Sharon Stone shows her clam?
I've only seen that scene in Basic Instinct. I've never seen the rest of that movie.
No, nor have I've never seen any of it. Like, you don't get many full genital shots in wide-release movies. That is kind of had to be a pretty fucking. I can see why that had so much steam behind it. Like,
not only like that's a big, it's a big deal that even happened in that movie, but it's also a big deal that it was Sharon Stone who did it. I think she was a pretty decent sized star.
Well,
by that point.
blew her up. That's what blew her up. She was a middling star before that, and that's what kind of sent her, because she had about a 5-year run after that where she was a movie star. Yeah. Like, before she was doing shit like fucking like Total Recall, where, she has a prominent role in that movie, but she ain't on the VHS box.
She's not on the poster.
Yeah, but for a hot minute there, she was, for the better part of the rest of the 90s, she was a movie star. Like,
You are right though that there's not a lot of Jenny shots in movies.
Like if it is, it's an R-rated comedy and it's a flaccid dong for laughs. Like you never see a. Can you think of a movie where I don't think you could show a hard on. I'm pretty sure you can't show a hard on and get an R rating. So
I think you're right. I think that's a rule. But I also was about to say that like it was a punchline in like R-rated comedies not all that horribly long ago.
Yeah.
Like
there's lots of male
Sarah
nudity
Marshall.
in Borat. Yep, forgetting Sarah Marshall, Borat. There's
what's the Jonah God damn it, not Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, like Mall Cop movie that has
Observe and Report.
There you go. That has an extended like play this little dick for laughs scene.
God, I saw that movie. I don't even remember that, but yeah, you see Julianne Moore's Beeve in the movie Shortcuts. It's really weird, man. It's like middle of the day. She's just flopping around the house in just a sweatshirt.
I've never even heard Donald of that Duck movie.
In it. Yeah, it was a Robert Altman movie. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was a fucking Transformers 3, but I mean, it was a wide release movie at the time.
I don't have a good reason. I've never cared for Julianne Moore. There's just something about her. I'm like, nope. I don't like. I think part of it is like Silence of the Lambs is my favorite movie of all time, and she took over as Clarice in Hannibal, which that movie's a garbage fire from the get go. But I've
never seen it.
I think somewhere in my youth, my brain decided to hold that movie against her, which it's not her fucking fault at all.
See, she's one of those actresses. I think I like her, but it's mostly just because I like her because she chooses good movies to be in, if that makes sense. Like
not Hannibal. Hannibal is garbage.
But I mean, her batting average is pretty damn good. Like she's been in a lot of good movies. Hannibal, I think, up until not too long ago, still held the record for the biggest weekend box office debut for an R-rated movie.
Huh?
So that movie blew up right out of the gates. But like, so it's not worth seeing, huh?
No, that movie, as much as I hate it, that movie's the Hans Zimmer score to that movie is fucking outstanding. The music in that movie is amazing. A lot of the cinematography is super good too because it's all shot in like Venice, like it's all fantastic architecture and everything.
Oh yeah,
but like it's not a fucking good movie.
Is Ray Liotta in that?
He is.
See, I enjoy me some Ray Liotta too.
I usually do too, but he's like it feels like a movie where a lot of people are collecting a paycheck.
Yeah. Kind of when you were discussing No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood before, I have a similar movie hot take for me that I remember being kind of salty about the movie Training Day.
Really?
And I do enjoy, but Training Day got all this love and all this, awards showered upon it. The same year, I feel a superior, gritty, dirty cop movie came out called Narc. And I think Narc is like devastatingly good and a superior movie to what I think is a good movie in Training. But fucking Narc, man, will ruin you. And Ray Liotta is in it, and Ray Liotta is the fucking bomb.
I don't think I know Narc.
Yeah, man. It's him and Jason Patric are basically the only known actors. They're on the screen 80% of the time, and it's super gritty and super good and super fucking depressing. And Buster Rhymes is also in it too. If you're following the film career,
is that a selling point?
Yeah, but he's fine in his small role. But yeah, like it is. Yeah, dude. If I still own my DVD collection, if you had a way of playing DVDs, I'd tell you, here you go, man. Check it out.
I don't know Narc, but I love Training Day. I think that movie's fantastic. And like I will be the first to admit that it's great and it's fantastic because of Denzel. I feel like when Denzel's not on screen, I care considerably less about that movie. So
yeah, I'm guessing that's a common thread.
It's a great one. Wiggum is stumped as to who shot Mr. Burns, and then he gets a dream sequence that I think is from Twin Peaks. I've never seen. Do you know Twin Peaks? Have you seen that?
I just know that scene where like the little dwarf guy comes out and dances and talks backwards.
Do you have any desire to see Twin Peaks?
Yeah, because I do. I just
want
never.
To real badly.
Yeah, man. I loved when David Lynch is on. He's one of my favorite creative humans. Like Blue Velvet's on the short list of my favorite movies.
Blue Velvet's a great movie. I don't know what has kept me from it, much like The Simpsons. I don't know what's kept me from it, but I have been wanting to watch Twin Peaks for a long time now.
Yeah, and it's streaming. It's all over the place. It's easily accessible, so I have no excuse.
I know we say this a lot, but maybe that's the next podcast. I think maybe you and I should probably watch Twin Peaks.
Do a Twin Peaks deep dive. I'm on board for that.
Like maybe we double up our podcast load and we do America's Barley Basket comes out on Tuesdays and whatever our Twin Peaks podcast is titled comes out on Thursdays.
Yeah.
So we're just building an empire here
of 90s programming that we haven't got around to watching yet.
Yeah, two dopes who missed out on shit are gonna make up for lost time.
And I have no excuse because we had an ABC affiliate. I remember seeing ads for Twin Peaks as a little kid, be like, "Holy, this looks different."
And I feel like Twin Peaks references, not just in The Simpsons, but culturally, pop up often enough that I'm like, I gotta fucking watch that thing.
I gotta see what the hubbub's all about.
Yeah. So in the Twin Peaks reference, Lisa is like talking backwards and tells him to investigate Burns's suit, and he does, and he finds an eyelash, and it comes up as having Simpson DNA on it. Doesn't say which one, but it's Simpson's DNA. And there's a great time at the table where Lisa's like, "Well, we know Mom's safe because you're a Bouvier," and she like won't accept that. She's like, "Well, nope, it could be me. Who knows?" It's
when I married your husband or your father, I accepted every part of him, and that includes his DNA. And she just like shakes her head at Marge, like,
like that.
You don't know how science works.
Not how that works, Ma. But okay. And then there's also at this time, Burns wakes up and like just shouts Homer Simpson kind of over and over again. It's the only words he can say for whatever reason. And all at the same time, we find a gun in the Simpsons' car under the seat or something when Wiggum comes to investigate. Homer's arrested and then escapes while the cops go to the drive-thru.
Which is another great Jasper scene where he's like driving like a Duesenberg again.
Yep. And it's like rocking with the beat of the engine like an old cartoon car would.
Yeah.
So Homer goes to the hospital and is like strangling Burns, doing the "Why you little" to Mr. Burns, shaking him, and Burns finally snaps out of it and tells the story of what happened. And what had happened was he was like walking to the car, or he was in the parking lot by the Simpsons car after unveiling his new sunblocker, and saw that Maggie had some candy and tried to steal it from her, and in the process his gun fell onto her lap and went off and shot him. So Maggie, it turns out, is who shot Mr. Burns.
Cold-blooded Maggie.
Yeah, and everyone's like, well, laughs it off because certainly Maggie didn't mean to, and then there's like a kind of a zoom in of Maggie looking slightly sinister, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Maggie shot Mr. Burns.
Yeah. I do like to when there's a rundown of all the suspects that Lisa's telling the cops. And it's like Mo Slizlak, he lost his bar, and a Barney Gumble, who lost his only means of support from sucking coins out of the love testing machine. And then one of the cops has like a disgusted comment he makes. Like, that's a good way to get sick or something like that.
That's a good way to get sick. Yeah, I can't. I have trouble imagining a grosser thing than sucking a coin out of a love meter.
But I don't know, man. I didn't really. Maybe it wasn't. I mean, it was funny, but it was just like the ambition of it. I really liked the whole 2-part season spanning. Like,
yeah, like I think the episode itself is is funny, but not
Fine. Yep.
not anything amazing or whatever. But the whole thing around it, ending last season the way they did, making people wait 4 entire months for this. And like you said, it was like a cultural event when this episode aired.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah. This is like peak. Well, I don't know if it's peak Simpsons hit pretty hot early. Like season 2 might have been like peak Simpsons as far as cultural relevance. They were like a meteor, man. Like fucking everyone. Yeah, because I don't think I bet Simpsons merch peaked really early on. Like,
yeah, maybe by this point people weren't buying Bart t-shirts anymore.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, I would say that pretty safely. Yeah, that by this point, like the hysteria had worn off. It was still super popular, but it wasn't the cultural phenomenon that it had been before. Like they had a very good selling album during the second season. Like how crazy is that? Like we talked about catching people like clamoring to buy a Big Bang Theory album.
Oof.
Of them singing silly song. No, like it's because it's just not that relevant. Like people were just eating up anything with the Simpsons on it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like television music, as far as popularity in modern times, it's probably like the Lonely Island Boys is probably as close as we've come.
Yeah,
you know? And that's good point. And that's its own category because that's SNL. That's like that's. I feel like SNL is such its own thing that it's not even TV. It's SNL, you know?
It's like also kind of during this time was when Adam Sandler was having best-selling comedy albums. They're just like a combination of like skits and songs and shit. Like,
man, I grew up with those in my early to mid-teens. I thought the Adam Sandler skit records were the funniest fucking things that I'd ever heard.
Oh, man. I wonder if they hold up.
I bet not. I bet if you fired up the
very
goat,
juvenile,
you probably would think it's dumb.
Speaking of things that you wouldn't think hold up, the Jerky Boys released their first album in 21 years this last week.
Woof, and they've been gone a while.
Was there for it. It is streaming if you want. I've been enjoying it like a fine wine. I only listen to a couple prank calls every once in a while. I don't want to just rush through it. The first one is magnifique. It's so good. Like,
so I missed the Jerky Boys completely.
Well, it was roughly a week and a half phenomenon, so it was easy to do.
But that was their thing, right? It's primarily prank calls, right?
Yep, that was what their albums were. Was just prank calls. Yep.
Okay. Like
they insanely made a feature film about the Jerky Boys, which I cannot believe was greenlit.
Is it just prank calls? I don't understand what
that
movie
premise.
Even would be.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
Huh.
It was like a lot like Basketball, where hey, these people are putting out a funny product. Let's make a movie involving them, but not involving their funny product. If that makes sense.
Weird.
Like they did the voices. Yeah. Oh yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is too. Yeah. Like I read a great interview with them, like talking about like their kind of like their Simpson like quick rise to fame, and they just talked about like all the dumb movie offers they got. And then the interview asked, well, what's the dumbest movie offer you got? Like, oh, by far, Basketball.
It's like the dumbest one is one of the ones they made.
Yeah, and it's like, who wants to make a good movie? Like, I don't want that pressure. I want to make Basketball.
Oh, God. I like Basketball quite a bit. But yeah, Jerky Boys missed me completely. Like, I was deep into the Adam Sandler skit records that he was putting out.
Were prank calls part of your childhood at all?
No, I don't think I've ever made a prank call in my life.
Really?
But I was deep into those, the Adam Sandlers, and then later in high school, like probably junior, senior year, I got real into the Cheech and Chong skit records from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Those also very good. Like the only issue is that if you've seen any of the Cheech and Chong movies, you've heard all those bits.
Yep.
Because they just made movies out of those bits. So
yep.
I have often wondered, like working in radio and working in production with banks of sound effects and stuff, like it's crossed my mind several times in the past 10 years being like, could you make like a skit comedy record today and have it go anywhere?
I just want you to reach for the stars, Marlon. That's all I want.
Thank you, Nathan. You've always been such a cheerleader of mine.
I've always said that. Like, I just want you to make all your dreams come true. I think about that every night before I go to bed. How's Marlon doing? Was he listening to his heart? I don't want him just to always be pragmatic. I want him to take risks. Then I have a dream board I've made. It's my dreams for you.
Can I the secret someone else? Is that how the secret works?
Can I parlay this to someone else?
Can I manifest for someone else?
And we're on to the episode Radioactive Man. It's been decided by the Hollywood elite that they're going to start filming a new Radioactive Man, and it's going to take place in Springfield, which is great.
Because they need a place that has a radioactive or a nuclear power plant
a
and
gorge.
a gorge.
Yeah. And then they look in the, I don't know if it's Variety or what industry Hollywood newspaper it is, and there's all these ads for all these major cities. And the guy just immediately looks at that tiny 1-inch by 1/2-inch ad for Film Springfield.
And it's spelled wrong.
Yeah, they need to get in on that. They sense a city on the rise in Springfield.
Yeah, Flim Springfield is what the ad says.
Yeah, and I think they find out about it in the comic book shop, and the Milhouse and Bart are just blown away by this news. And the comic, what's the name of that? Is it just a comic book guy? Is that his name?
I don't know that he has. If he does have a real name, we don't know it yet. I think he's just the comic book guy to us.
A great scene of him waddling over to his very 1995 computer and showing the world what 1995 internet was like, and just this army of nerds all over America spreading movie gossip to one another.
Yeah, he just types in the DOS line like, need to know star of RM, and it just goes out into the internet. They go so far poking fun of nerds that like the first guy to get the message like puts on his Spock ears first and then starts typing.
Which is great. He just doesn't feel fully dressed without a Spock ears.
Gotta dunk on them nerds.
Yeah. Another scene I enjoyed was like kind of like some of the producers and the director discussing their plans for the next Radioactive Man movie and who they're going to have star in it, what they're going to do. And they talk about, I want to avoid the campiness of the 70s Radioactive Man TV show. And they cut to that. I'm trying to think of the villain's name. It's something good.
I don't remember. I didn't write that down.
He's very effeminate. He's I can't think of the actor that they are portraying with that character. He's the guy that used to be the center square on Hollywood Squares.
Oh, okay.
He was like a
I don't know the actor, but it's a scout leader, like an effeminate
scout leader. That's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, and then the fight scenes, and like I don't know, was the '60s Batman show a part of your childhood at all?
No, not at all.
See, it did air on reruns for us, and I always thought it was lame. I never enjoyed it at all.
That thing, like, when I did start seeing, bits and pieces of it and the Batman movie that they shot back then, like, I remember thinking it was lame and not realizing for a long time that it was kind of meant to be. Like, it's meant to be campy, dumb fun.
Yep.
But I remember, because by that time I had absorbed, the Tim Burton Batmans and the Shoemaker Batmans and been like, what is this garbage? Like, not to say the Shoemaker Batmans or anything special.
Well, I think Shoemaker was going for that with that one with Schwarzenegger, which...
Like he was.
I've been told I need to see again, but when anyone asks what's the worst movie I've ever seen, and if I discount low budget garbage, I say that's the worst one. Like it is unconscionably bad. Like
I remember it not being good, but I don't remember it being fucking god awful, unwatchable.
Yeah, I remember just thinking like that. It seems like it was like, is there a joke I'm not getting in on? Like the endless fucking puns and shit. I think I just like gritty Batman, man. I want my Batman to be more serious.
Well, I know Shoemaker was given kind of specific instructions when he came in for Batman Forever to lighten it the fuck up a little bit, because this was coming off of Burton doing Batman Returns, which has Catwoman in S&M gear and a mutated penguin, like...
Yeah, I love that movie.
So do I, but like the studio apparently gave him directions to like, hey, we need to sell some fucking toys, and Batman Returns is incredibly dark for especially at the time for a comic book movie.
I've never seen the third one, the first Shoemaker one.
Forever.
Forever. I've never seen. That's the one with like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, Jim Carrey's the Riddler. I've never seen that one.
I enjoy that one. Well, enjoy is a strong word. I like it better than Batman and Robin, but it's not as good as either of the Burton movies.
Like Batman and Robin too, like casting Alicia Silverstone to be Batgirl, like a fine actress, nothing wrong, but like just not like athletic. Like,
right.
Looks like she like struggled to jump over a shoebox, and yet she's gonna be a fucking crime fighter. Like,
well, I mean, at the same time, they also cast Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger to be Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Like, what about Arnold Schwarzenegger screams scientist?
Yeah, especially like, why for that role? Yeah, just nothing makes fucking make him Bane. At least he looks like Bane,
Right.
Like,
well, yeah, and they made Bane a fucking idiot.
Joke. Yeah.
So it's not good, but I also think Clooney's the worst Batman because he's so recognized. Like, the point of Batman is a secret identity, and as soon as he speaks, you're like, oh, that's George Clooney. Like, people dunk on Christian Bale's Batman voice, and I can kind of understand it to a certain point, but at least he's trying to disguise his voice. George Clooney just sounds like George Clooney.
I read something about when they debuted that they had the big premiere of that movie. I think it's like a Man's Chinese Theater or whatever it is in Hollywood. And, the movie airs, big, huge budget, big summer tentpole movie. And it's over and the doors open and Clooney's the first one out. And he just kind of walks right past the paparazzi out onto the sidewalk. And he just lights a cigarette and takes a drag and just looks off into the distance and goes, yep. I think we've officially ended the Batman franchise. Gets a taxi and goes home.
And he was right for a long time.
Yeah,
that was the end.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that movie being bad, but I don't know. I would be curious to revisit it to see if it is that bad.
So they're making Radioactive Man in Springfield, and they're going to audition for the role of Fallout Boy in Springfield. They want a young, bright-eyed local boy to be Fallout Boy. And Bart just chomping at the bit to get the role. Milhouse, very reluctant. His mother's making him do it. And
yeah, Milhouse doesn't want to be Fallout Boy.
And so that immediately means Milhouse is getting that fucking role.
Yep.
He does not want to be an actor, but his parents buy a bunch of Gucci shit, so he's like forced to be a child star now.
His mom has a jacuzzi suit, just a full body suit with bubbling water in it.
Yeah. I think we've kind of learned that the Milhouse's parents, especially the dad, they're not good people. They're not. They shouldn't have kids.
I think every little glimpse we get into the Milhouse household is it's not great in there.
Yeah. And the Springfield people are just complete sharks. They're raising all their prices. They're just creating new tax laws to milk the studio that's making this movie.
Yeah, Quimby just lining those pockets.
Yeah. And I love how much Milhouse doesn't like this.
Yeah, he's hating it. Like every bit of the process, Milhouse is not into.
Yeah. And then eventually, he just runs off. He just can't handle it anymore, and he runs off. So they have to just stop production of this huge movie. They got McBain as the star. I'm sure keeping him on set cost $10,000 a second, so time is money. And Bart goes hunting for him. He wants to find Milhouse. There's that I love it because it's just so tacked on because they knew it would be funny. When he goes to that spirograph factory and there's just one lone spirograph guy in the far corner doing his spirographs, and when he looks over at him, or when he looks at Bart, do you know there's a direct correlation between the decline of spirograph use and the increase in gang activity? I remember spirographs as a kid, too.
Hell yeah. That was an extremely specific joke, so much so that I wrote that down as well. Just like, man.
Good for them.
Yeah, they got a spirograph scene in there.
There's a scene in this movie. There's a pretty good Waterworld reference to, like on some, like it's some kind of sea captain villain. They have him on this like floating city. Like,
I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I don't think Waterworld is as bad as everyone remembers.
I'm with you, Marlon. I'm with you. I'm just going to say that.
I'm not going to tell you that it's a great movie.
Yep.
But it's fine. I feel like it probably deserves the hate that it gets for being like a financial bust, because I bet it cost a lot to make.
And I think it ended up making its money back. Yeah.
Did it really? Huh.
Yeah, but overseas markets, yeah.
As far as the quality of what's on screen, I don't think Waterworld's that bad. I've seen worse movies than Waterworld.
Oh, fuck yeah. Damn right.
Waterworld is better than Batman and Robin.
Oh, certainly. By miles, yeah.
Yeah. So, hell, it's worth it just to watch fucking Dennis Hopper chew scenery as the villain. He's so great in that movie.
Damn right. You know, probably like 12 to 13 years ago, there was a consignment warehouse on the outskirts of Fargo. And for a hot minute, they had a handful of the actual costumes from people in the movie Waterworld for sale.
Awesome. How many did you buy?
Yeah, my friend was like, hey, man, kind of by Dilworth and that giant consignment place, there's like a ton of Waterworld gear. Like, I told them, if you can find the costume of the guy with the pig nose that ran the heavy gun that squealed when he shot, I was like, I'll buy that guy. It was like $200. Like, I'll cash out my 401k. I want to make this happen.
Yeah, I support that. I think you should probably have that.
Yeah, I think I deserve that. Wear it to the company Christmas party every year.
Yeah, that movie's bad, but it ain't that fucking bad.
Nope, not at all.
My like, if you were to put a gun to my head and ask me what the worst movie is, as far as like you said before, beyond low budget schlock, like what real movie is the worst movie? It's motherfucking Ghost Rider with Nick Cage.
Oh, I've never seen it.
I love Nick Cage, but that movie is garbage. That movie's so bad that Sam Elliott is bad in it.
Oh, like, that's not a good scene.
You know how bad you gotta be?
That's not a good sign.
To make Sam Elliott bad? It's awful.
Have you seen the second one?
No, but I heard it's like considerably better while still being kind of bad. Like,
I heard they leaned into just like, hey, let's just make a fucking shit show but have a lot of fun doing it.
And that's, I mean, the guys who directed it are the guys who directed the Crank movies, and that's their whole MO is let's just have fun. Like, the Crank movies are great, but also...
I've never seen them, but I've heard the same thing, yeah, that they're fun.
Just big, dumb fun, and I'm sure the second Ghost Rider definitely benefited from their hands. That first Ghost Rider, woof.
Interesting,
it still stands as the only film I've ever walked out of the theater on.
Man.
It's the only one.
I'm with you there, because I've never done it, but it would take a lot. For me, my whole thinking is it's nice and air conditioned and these seats are comfy. I can just go to sleep. I've slept through a couple movies.
I've never fallen asleep in a movie theater. I definitely have friends who will zonk the fuck out in a movie. But...
I got so bored at the first Star Wars prequel that I fell asleep. It just, part of it, I just might not have been in the mood to sit down and watch something like that at the time, but I remember I slept through a good hour of that first prequel.
I never did. I stood in line for Phantom Menace for like 4 hours out in the fucking cold.
In Bismarck? Because you still would have been in school, right?
Yeah, I was still in school. That's the other thing. I was a dumb high schooler. I came out of that movie thinking that it was pretty good.
See, I've still never... I deserve to give that movie a second chance. I still haven't seen it, but...
I watched it recently. Like, within the last 2 months, I watched all 3 of the prequels. And that first one, it's fine. It's not as bad as people dunk on it for. It's Waterworld level quality.
Yeah.
I'll put those in the same folder.
And there's something about the look of it. It's just so digital and it's lifeless, and the dialogue isn't good, and the acting isn't all that good. It's just there's just not a lot of heart, if that's maybe the right way to describe it. They're just kind of lifeless movies.
It's a very plastic movie. It looks like people playing with action figures is what the whole movie looks like.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
But, like, Liam Neeson's fucking great. Ewan McGregor is great. Darth Maul is cool. The Duel of the Fates song from John Williams is still one of the best of the whole Star Wars series. But, boy, Anakin is real tough. And Jar Jar is real tough.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. Even, like, man.
It's just like everything feels so calculated. Like, it's like, just not a lot of soul in those movies.
Yeah, not into it. Three's okay. It's the best of the bunch, but it's still not good.
The only one I've never seen.
Really?
Of the 9 Star Wars movies, of like the canon, of like the continuation storyline, never seen. And I've heard it's the best of those prequels. Yeah,
I've never seen any of the new ones, the 7, 8, 9.
Oh no shit!
I've heard they're good.
As a non-Star Wars guy, I mean, or just a person that has a passing interest in Star Wars, I found them perfectly fine. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Back to The Simpsons.
Oh right.
Bart, knowing Milhouse better than pretty much anyone, finds him hiding. He knows where he's at. He's in the treehouse. And he convinces him that he has to go back, and he does go back. Bart is able to convince him to go back. But by that point, they have closed up shop because the city of Springfield has bankrupted this movie production by their exorbitant price gouging, which was, for me, my favorite characteristic of this episode was just that premise that, like, Hollywood is the place that's decent with values and knows how to treat people, and it's the small predatory shark small towns that are destroying this country, which I loved that. When they get back to Hollywood and like everyone's like, hey, we know you try, but hey, just treat yourself to some things in our store until you get back on your, I think they said like boutiques or something.
Yeah, and the camera pans out and it's so wholesome. Everyone's waving to each other and
loved it.
Yeah, I love that. Portraying Hollywood as being so wholesome while small towns are full of fucking snakes. That was gold. The biggest takeaway I had from this episode is that, to me, having never seen The Simpsons, Fall Out Boy is a band. Fall Out Boy is not a character.
Yeah.
Like, every time I hear the phrase Fall Out Boy, I just think of the band.
I always knew it was Simpsons based, but now we see the genesis of it.
Yeah, like I did too. I knew that they got that name from The Simpsons, but it's still, every time during this episode, whenever anyone said Fall Out Boy, I immediately was like, sugar, we're going down swinging. Thanks for the memories. Like, man, which I like Fall Out Boy, so.
I'm old enough where that wasn't part of my... I was I was of an age where I should have been out of college. I might not have been out of college, but like I was a grown up by the time Fall Out Boy was hitting hard. And but I can still a couple of those singles, like that Sugar We're Going Down, that was a catchy fucking song, man. Like it's
they put out a lot of catchy tunes.
Yeah.
Even late model Fall Out Boy is still pretty good.
No kidding.
Yeah, like bands like Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance happened at just the right time for me when I had just moved out here to college and was when you move from a small town with the only people you've ever met in your life and go somewhere where you know nobody, like you can be anyone you want. So like I still to this day am pretty into Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance.
See, like My Chemical Romance, they had a couple singles I really thought were catchy as shit. A band maybe not quite of that era, but close, that none of their singles did anything for me, was Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, I know that one song that everyone knows from Panic, but that's it. I got deep into My Chemical Romance, but they're the only one of like that whole genre that I latched onto. I didn't catch any other.
Did you ever dye your hair black? Did you ever start wearing eyeliner? Did you go through that phase at all?
No, I never did. I've never dyed my hair. I did at one point have kind of a swoop in college, but not a real one.
Ooh,
but like
I dyed my hair once and it was tragic.
Dyed it what? So you have I'm sure it's probably changed in past years, but I've only ever known you to have long black hair.
Yep. It's more of a dark brown.
Is it though?
Yeah. But it was before I finally cut my hair. I still had pretty long hair. I kind of had that loaf. I had a late 90s loaf where your hair looks like it could come off in one piece, roughly the size of a banana bread loaf. That's about what I had. But I decided, hey, let's mix it up. Let's dye this blonde, which I didn't know when you do have hair as dark as mine that it ain't a one and done. So I just spent $40 and got peanut butter colored hair. So and then I realized, I don't have the energy or the money to commit to making this hair blonde. So I just had peanut butter color hair and it looked fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll bet.
There's 2 pictures on this planet that exist of me with peanut butter colored hair.
Oh man, I need
one
it.
of which my buddy took, and the other is my senior class picture.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yep. Got that part down the middle, and of course no one used conditioner, so your hair has like a bell shape to it because the ends curl up.
Ends are dead.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, that same year I got highlights too. I had like blonde streak, but I still parted it down the middle and it was long. So there's like weird butter streaks through my hair. And that was my driver's license picture for 4 years.
Oh, man.
I had a run of driver's license pictures. I used to work in this brake pad manufacturing plant where we just breathed and lived in soot. So it just looked like an 1890s coal miner. And I remember I had to rush from there to get my driver's license renewed. So just like washing my face with Gojo as quick as I could, like in a moving car, just like wiping myself off with a dirty t-shirt. So my driver's license picture, I'm like winded and sweaty because it was like in July, but I didn't clean my face good enough. So I still have like black under my eyes. It looks like I have eyeliner on. Like I look like a cross-dressing prostitute that's had a real rough run of Johns lately. Like, a lot of guys taking their day out on me. It's like this guy needs to go back to school. Like he needs to restart. Like the sex trade is not doing him any favors.
Oh God,
is he crying? I think he might be crying.
So he's taking some heavy bumps.
Yeah, love of the game. The lucrative whole rental business.
Oh my God.
So
I sadly don't think I have any bad haircut like license pictures or senior I mean, like we've mentioned before, like I had a mullet in my senior photos, but I was killing it, so I don't consider those bad.
Just lean into it, man. Yeah, if you accept it and you thrive with it, hey, no one's, how can they give you a hard time when you're so goddamn happy?
Yeah, I eventually had long hair, not as long as yours. Nathan has long fucking hair, but I used to have like shoulder length long hair.
Oh, no shit, boy, that's hard to even imagine.
Mm-hmm. And my hair is pretty naturally curly and blonde, so just just locks hanging down.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Your hair must be wavy as fuck when it's longer.
Mm-hmm. And I eventually just got tired of, once the Marvel movies started coming out, I got tired of strangers coming up to me at the strip club I worked at telling me I looked like Fat Thor. So I cut it. I was like, man, I'm tired of this.
That's what you want. I got a lot of Hurley from
Lost.
Lost, yeah.
Huh.
And then I also, before it was super long, I used to get a lot of Blues Traveler. And that's not what you want when you're a teenage boy. You don't want to be compared to morbidly obese harmonica players.
Second week in a row, Blues Traveler has come up on this podcast. I guarantee that we are the only non-music podcast that can mention John Popper 2 weeks in a row.
Simpsons-themed comedy podcast that has the most John Popper references per capita or per minute right here. at America's Barley Basket.
Put it on the fucking poster. Episode 3 of Season 7, our last one for the day, is Home Sweet Home Diddly Dum Doodly, which is a fucking ridiculous sentence.
Yes, it sure is.
As you might guess, we got a Flanders one. This episode starts off with Marge just killing it as a mom. She is putting lunches together while getting the kids ready for school, while making breakfast, while she's got all the plates spinning at peak mom efficiency right off the bat in this episode.
Also taking care of her man-child husband. Like one of my favorite lines of this week was, "Marge, there's a spider by my car keys." And she's like, "You did a good thing of telling me first."
Yeah. The husband who the wife has to parent is the dumbest trope, but at the same time, I know people in relationships like those.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, it's depressing.
God, I don't fucking get it. You're an adult man. Learn how to cook. You know?
Do you think your wife wants to fuck you when she's got to babysit you? No. No. Oh yeah.
I don't.
Nope.
Don't get it.
N-O spells no.
Yep. Hard pass.
This one. Goddamn self-respect.
Homer is appreciative of the good work Marge has been doing and bought her and himself passes to the spa, the classic get cucumbers on your eyes, sit in the mud bath kind of spa, which I've never done. I've definitely gotten massages in the past, but never gone full spa.
Oh, man, brother, I need a massage so bad, but I don't want to catch fucking Roro.
Yeah, that'd be a bad way to catch Roro.
Yep. Getting rubbed down by a stranger.
I once got a massage in Vegas by this woman who was easily my size, giant hands, and shocking red hair, who gave the best massage I've ever had in my life.
I've always thought, I bet men, like the men masseuse probably fucking dig in. They got those goddamn big old meat hooks and stuff. But I've never had a massage from a guy. Not that I wouldn't. But I've never done it.
I never have either, but I would not have a problem with it whatsoever. Because, like, this lady she got all the way to the bone. Just got in there with those big sailor's hands.
Yeah, you have a masseuse that, like, hits a level where it's like, that might have hurt me, but I think I'm really relaxed right now. It's like you hear something inside your body pop.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
It's like
a puncture there.
I'm just going to lay here naked and try not to fart for an hour. You just do your work, lady.
Man, yeah. If I'm paying money to have someone rub me down, I'm being fully relaxed. If you want me fully relaxed, I'm bare ass naked.
Oh yeah, for sure. People who I mean, whatever. It's no skin off my ass. Do what you want to do. But I've never understood anybody who wears underwear in the massage chair or the massage table.
Be free. Let it flow.
They
change that paper out. Rub your gross junk up against that paper. They're gonna they probably burn it at the end of the day.
I would if I set that whole table on fire.
Yeah, burn that table and chop a new one down every morning.
Marge wants to clean the house quick before they go, but they don't. They just go and say, we'll get to it later. The first half of this episode, a hilarious misunderstanding of unfortunate events.
Yep.
Bart, it turns out, has lice because he and Milhouse were playing with a chimpanzee who got, well, maybe not a chimpanzee, but a monkey of some sort.
Yeah, some little pet type monkey.
Yeah.
Did you ever get lice growing up?
Nope, I never did. I remember a couple of instances of like outbreaks at the school, but I don't think it ever got a hold of me.
Yep. Or I remember getting on our bus and oh shit, someone on the bus got lice. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
And it happened a lot. I remember like at least multiple lice checks a year. And I'll tell you right now, I fucking loved lice checks. I love the sensation like of the stick going through my hair and rubbing my scalp. Like to this, like I in my notes it says, "God damn it, I miss lice check." I love that feeling. Like someday I'm gonna marry a gal with long fingernails who will do that for me. Just run them through my scalp.
Check you for lice.
I just enjoy the sensation of like something rubbing against my scalp. I don't know. Hey, And I don't want to hear you kink shame me. I'm enjoying myself. Thank you. Maybe I'm just getting a little defensive.
A little bit. I think you mistook my chuckling as being judgmental of you, and that's not the case at all. I'm chuckling at the specificity of it all.
I like back scratches and lice checks.
Oh, I love a good back
It's
scratch.
Probably just a lot of itchiness. I probably should switch hair products or something.
You're just itchy.
Just an itchy boy. Got ourselves an itchy boy here. Got money to spend.
We need to switch detergent brands, I think, is what we're learning.
That's why I like Reno. I know a prostitute will scratch my scalp.
I don't know that you have a fetish. I think you have scabies.
I got goddamn scabies. Shouldn't have wrestled with those stray dogs.
But we have Bart with his lice. Lisa gets her shoes taken away from her and then trumps through the mud to visit Principal Skinner. So it looks like we have a filthy child and then the other one having no shoes, not being able to afford shoes.
And those two are a series of unfortunate events. But the Simpsons, Marge and Homer, they got to quit letting Grandpa run the show. He is not fit to watch kids anymore.
That's a real big mistake. They Skinner, seeing the two older kids, sends child welfare services to check on what's going on at the Simpson house, and they show up. The house is a mess because, again, they planned on cleaning it after they got back from the spa, and then left Grandpa in charge of Maggie. He, of course, is dead asleep.
There's a great visual gag where they walk in and they wake him up and he panics and he flips that plate of food all over himself.
Yeah.
That cracked me up.
So Grandpa's asleep and filthy. Maggie is drinking out of the dog bowl and has "I'm a stupid baby" taped to herself, which Bart had taped to Lisa's back earlier. This all looks horrendous. And just then the Simpsons come home, having just lived life at the spa while apparently their children were left in squalor. So they take the kids away. Just straight up take their children away.
Drive them 15 feet.
To the Flanderses.
Man, I was thinking too, being a foster kid has got to be just so hard because best case scenario is a family like the Flanderses.
Mm-hmm.
Best
I bet
case.
a lot of those foster families you end up with, that is not the case. Being stuck at the Flanders is bad, but at least it's not dirty or unsafe or unsavory.
Yep. Any of those unwords.
Yep.
The Flanderses are just duds. There's duds as humans, but at least they're not going to fucking finger blast you or anything like that. They're fucking. They're trying their best. They're just dorks. They can't help it.
I hope that somewhere down the line, Ned utters the sentence, "The Flanders ain't gonna finger blast you."
Just to let people know, hey.
Put that on a fucking t-shirt. Yeah. I like seeing Bart and Lisa as fish out of water in the Flanders household. Oh, come get your nachos, kids, Flanders style, and it's cottage cheese on top of cucumbers.
Oh, yeah.
Not nachos, not at all.
Yeah.
The judge, in the meantime, sends the Simpson parents to parental guidance classes, which they get put through all these things on how to be good parents, and it doesn't seem to be real life-changing information that gets dumped on them.
Just, hey, don't solve all of your problems with violence.
Yeah.
Try something else for a change.
Meanwhile, the Simpson kids are just trying to get through life at the Flanderses, and they're playing some manner of Bible trivia, and they don't know any of the answers to any of the Bible questions. And then Lisa lets slip that the Simpson kids have never been baptized, which is not okay with the Flanders family at all. Earlier, I did like when they the Simpson kids were watching the Itchy and Scratchy show, which completely sent fucking Ned on tilt.
Yeah. One thing I liked earlier too is when Homer and Marge are back in the house and they're just so sad. This episode kind of gets you in the feels a little bit because they do a good job of you kind of sense their desperation, but Homer's just kind of waxing nostalgic, and he's talking about Lisa with her saxophone, and he holds the sax to his mouth and just goes, saxophone, saxophone. God, that cracked me up.
Yeah, the couple of times we cut back to the Simpson house and them lamenting the empty house without the kids, it's sad. No way around
and
it.
Like Bart putting that note under the doormat, like with the Flanders newspaper prints that they were doing. It's Todd smells. Well, I already knew that. On the back, it's
maybe on the
Simpsons
other side.
Kids miss their mom and dad. It's like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's cute for sure. When Flanders finds out that they haven't been baptized, he smashes the emergency baptism kit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You're baptized, I'm assumed.
Oh yeah, sure. I was brought up Catholic.
I was like 30 before I met somebody that wasn't baptized. I went to grad school with a buddy of mine. I found out he wasn't baptized, so whenever we'd be drinking, I'd always say if he ever got too drunk, I was going to trick him into the bathroom and baptize him against his will.
A forced baptism.
Grown man in a bathtub. I'm hollering Holy Ghost power as I turn the shower on.
Oh, shit.
To the point where if he was very drunk, he's like kind of browning out, like, don't you fucking baptize me. And he passes out.
What a weird thing to overhear as someone else at the party.
Yep. If you're new to you're not part of the gang.
Yeah. If you're not in on the joke, it sounds very strange. It's like people who aren't into wrestling overhearing anything related to wrestling.
Yeah.
So the Simpson parents, they pass the bullshit classes they have to go through, and they get home and they go to get their kids back, but see that Ned has a note on the door that says "Gone baptizing." Yeah. And so they have to follow them. Ned is taking the kids down to the river to do an old-timey river baptism. He's got the robe. The kids got on all the baptismal gowns and all that. And the Simpsons get there just in time, and Homer tackles Bart out of the way so that he's not baptized. And the kids and the parents are back together, and we get a nice, happy family ending.
Just as it should be.
Yeah, that was I think the first time we've seen the Flanders' ultra Christianity being portrayed as bad at all,
that's a good point.
Rather than just goofy.
Yep. And one thing, I really enjoy episodes where Maggie is featured fairly prominently. We get a lot of Maggie in this because they kind of worry that, Maggie hasn't known mom and dad as long as us. Maybe Maggie's going to kind of like forget about them.
Yeah, and be like, she's also like the most influenceable of the three, you know? So, yeah, there is quite a bit of like, maybe Maggie doesn't hate it here.
Yeah, which was like a nice kind of like plot point in this episode, but she misses her mama.
Yeah, when she does see Marge at the river, she heads to Marge very hastily. Doesn't even hesitate.
Much as a baby can do anything hastily.
Right, yeah. Not a lot of hasty babies.
And there's where the comedic value lies. They're so slow and uncoordinated.
Yeah. Hell of a batch this time around. As they always are now.
Yeah. At this point, yep, totally.
I really liked getting to see finally getting to see the Who Shot Mr. Burns saga after all these years of having heard of it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that was, and yeah, I'm glad it held up. That made it better too that it held up. Like,
yeah. Next week we'll be watching from season 7 episodes 4 through 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We will get our treehouse out of the way next week in that batch.
Shit, yeah.
Which is always a fun mile marker. You can
I'll watch those episodes. I don't know about you. I think I'm going to watch them this time.
Yeah, I'll watch them.
Yeah, that's been a minute. I should give them a try.
I love the idea that you haven't watched the show for months.
God, that guy's great at ad-libbing a show he's never seen.
I just go to Wikipedia, get the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, every once in a while I rattle off a character that isn't even on the show. Like, yeah, I love it when Bobby does this. Like, are you talking about King of the Hill? Should I not be?
Oh, that's another show that I've really never seen other than a handful of episodes here and there.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
always heard was good.
It's damn good, yeah.
But there's no time for that. We have Twin Peaks to watch, apparently.
Yeah, we got Twin Peaks. We got Babes. We got a half a season of Babes we got to plow through.
We need to see the show.
Yeah, the show. Have you heard of the show called The Show? We're going to watch it. All 4
York
episodes
Days.
of it. Yeah. Oh, man. See, I would enjoy some of it because I'm a sucker for 90s nostalgia. And I like it when it's not the good shit, when it's like forgettable horse shit like that. Where
Right.
they're just trying to be so fucking edgy and sarcastic and too cool for everything. I love it when that shit fails.
And that only goes harder as the 90s go. Once you get into the late 90s, like the cultural nihilism, like post-grunge, where you get into Fight Club and shit like that, is probably cartoonish looking back.
Then it kind of becomes, once like new metal hits, because new metal hits at the same time as like the vapid teen pop explosion, and then it's almost like, fuck, man. Then it's just fucking Woodstock 99, where it's like, it's not inner nihilism. It's just, fuck all you guys. I rule, but you suck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it went from introspective to just gross and like,
yeah. What a time it was.
Yeah, it was. Was it ever? A lot of Frosted Tips, Jenkos.
I wonder what the Simpson episodes from 99 or 2000 even look like.
Yeah. Well, remember, they're written by 60-year-old men, so they're very out of step.
Probably the episodes that are on now are making 99 and 2000 cultural references.
Very good point.
There's a delay.
Yeah.
You can find us on Twitter at BarleyBasketUSA. You can email us, barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. Huge shout out to our fresh German listeners.
What up, Germany?
I don't know where Germany came from, but Germany enjoying them some America's Barley Basket.
Yeah.
We see
Keep
you,
on
Germany.
keeping on. Share it with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Share it with other European. It doesn't have, I mean, we want more German, but you got friends in Poland, you got friends in the Czech Republic. Send them an email. Let them know, hey, I think you might enjoy this. You're a good person. I'm going to treat you with this knowledge of America's Barley Basket.
Give them a nudge, Germany.
Don't hoard the entertainment. Share it with your friends.
Yeah. So, and we appreciate when you do share it with your friends. And if you are so inclined, feel free to leave an iTunes rating and review, because that helps somehow. I don't understand, but apparently that's important. So if you like it, go say so on iTunes.
I think that'd be cool.
Episodes 4 through 8 of season 7 of The Simpsons for next week. Let's do it again, Nathan.
Talk to you later, everybody.